Hi, I'm Julie. Welcome. I thought spur of the moment to do a live. I always enjoyed doing live videos on TikTok, and I'm really enjoying doing them on YouTube. And I've been taking a bit of a break from being on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and I think I might continue to do that like until the new year. But I really like how it feels on YouTube. It's slower. The comments are, I don't know. It's not this rush. It just feels different, and I'm really liking exploring being on this platform. And so I thought I like to hang out. I like to chat. I like to read your comments and just hang out. And it's getting close to Christmas, and I know a lot of emotions can come up during this time of year, and it can be beneficial just to hang out on a live, whether you choose to participate or not. It can just be nice. So and I like doing it, so I thought that would be cool. And then I also have like a number of stories that, I don't know, just memories and things I'm piecing together that I think it would be beneficial to share and talk about. I need to unload, and I don't have a problem unloading it publicly. And so I thought, why not do a video? And I had this other idea because I was part of, so welcome. Who am I? My name is Julie, and I was part of the multi-level marketing industry for 5 years, and I was part of 2 high control groups simultaneously during that 5-year period: Monat and Rankmakers, network marketing coaching group on Facebook. I left last year. December the 13th, 2021 was the first anti-MLM piece of content I made on TikTok. And I've been speaking out. So, hey, Avery Joe, how are you? Gen Z! Gen Z knows what's going on. I'm still so stoked over that last video where we were talking about how the Direct Selling Association and the entire direct selling multi-level marketing industry is so worried about Gen Z. I love it. I'm like, it just makes my Christmas. Avery Joe's like, Gen Z in the house. Gwen, hello, Gwen. I need to have a drink of coffee. So I also thought it would be cool to cover in this video. We'll cover anything. So feel free to chat away, and we'll see where the conversation takes us. I think that'd be cool to explore. Then also have like a loose kind of structure that might precipitate more conversation. Right? So I was part of that group, Rankmakers, and I did these 14-day challenges, and it was going live every day for 14 days. And we'd get training, and we'd be given an assignment every day. And I won a lot of money during these challenges. But one of the trainings, I thought it was really helpful. My nose is itchy. You're going to see me pick my nose. Don't look. Jana says, hey, y'all. Hey, Jana. Welcome. This is like kind of a surprise. I didn't have to go into work. I go into work tonight, but I had another job. Because it's cold I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to just do a live video. And I had so much structure for so many years. It's nice to break the rules, and I can make as much content as I want or as little as I want. And so I felt moved. I felt the bowel movement to make a live video. So there you go. So anything goes. We can talk about anything. Thank you for being here. So one of these things that I learned in the 14-day challenge was how to use magazines that are at the checkout, like say of Walmart or whatever, that are right at eye level or on the magazine rack, and use those for headlines. Use those headlines that are on these magazines that are placed at eye level to inspire your content. So inspire the titles of your own Facebook live videos and create content for your live videos. And we were taught, it's not plagiarism. It's like nobody owns those titles. Just use those titles. And this is what I was taught. And I'm curious if this is true. I mean, it sounds good, and I use this. A lot of people do. And it might help if you're actually on here from a multi-level marketing company. This is fucking good advice to make really good content. And this is coming from anti-MLM now. but you know, not very many people know this, like these kind of secrets. So I'm going to like reveal those to you. But anyway, when these magazines that are at eye level, apparently they pay a lot of money to be at eye level. And those headlines of these top selling magazines have to be really compelling. So you're getting like something that's proven, a proven headline, a proven topic that is current, that people like want to know more about it. So you could just use these. And my mom gave me a stack of these Women's World magazines. And oh fuck, Prove It could be using some of these. If you're in Prove It, fuck, I've got some good ideas for you. Of course, hopefully I would like, if I'm giving good value, maybe you might be open to realizing that what you're a part of isn't very good. And it is a pyramid scheme eventually. But you know what? I was in for 5 years. I had my head up my ass, thought I was doing good, loved the products. Then I got out. So Jana says, sweet. Thank you, Avery, for posting. Avery Joe says, always here to share. So the first thing, this is the first random thing. I wrote down some of the questions that people had left in the comments of some of the other videos I made, and I thought I would expand on those. And then I also have some just random stories. And I don't think I talked about this before, but did you know, this is going to fucking blow your mind. You know, Enrique Iglesias, he fucking endorsed Monat Rejuva beads. This was 2017. So when I signed up with Monat in 2017, there was a video. And I use this in my marketing, telling people, even Enrique Iglesias, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, endorses Monat. And there was this video, he was being interviewed by Senor Louis Urdaneta, like the fucking founder, president of the company, Monat. And he's like, tell me why you like Rejuva beads. And he's like, it makes my beard, he had a beard. I don't know if he has a beard now. He's like, it makes my beard really smooth. He's like, oh, my girlfriend loves it because my beard is so smooth. He fucking endorsed Monat Rejuva beads. And if you don't know what Rejuva beads are, it was the split end mender. We used to do like the squirt some of this cream, this split end mender from Monat onto a Q-tip. And you get a split end, like you find a freaking split end. Like, I have so few now since I started Monat, but so hard pressed. But I finally found one, and lucky you, I'm going to give you a demo video. And you'd put the like fucking cream on the Q-tip, and then you'd like drag the split end hair through it, and then you'd see it just like seal up like that, and we'd like lose our minds. But Enrique, yes, Avery Joe says not Enrique. Even Enrique fell prey to the whim, the wooing, the siren call of Monat. Shadow is here. Shadow says, hey, everyone. Jana Miller says, no, not Enrique. Enrique did. And I don't know if you could find that on the internet or if it's been purged, if it's been scrubbed. I bet he's like, take it all down, right? Especially it feels like 5 years ago, 2017, which is going to be 6 years ago pretty soon. It seemed like such a more naive time, especially knowing what we know now. Maybe not. Maybe if you've been like anti-MLM, knowing all this stuff, so many people knew it was a scam. You know, I'm latecomer, 2017. I roll up to the scene. I'm like, this is amazing. This is such an amazing business opportunity. But that was Enrique Iglesias. Okay, this is another thing. This is like random, and then I'll get into some random memories, and then I'll get into some of the questions I had. And Shadow says, yep, 2017 mega hun. Jana Miller, that's someone I also want to do digging on, is Louis and the Urdanetas, especially the life in Venezuela and if they have shady stuff going on. I'd be curious to learn more about that too. So I'll talk a little bit about what I know and what I was told, is that they were in Venezuela and he had become a member of Tupperware. And I think his mom joined Tupperware, if I'm remembering this correctly. And she saw great success with it. And I think there's like those whole stories too. You have to work hard, no excuses. She went out and, pounded the pavement, would set up a table at a park and just wait for people to come by. and sell, and she worked so hard, and she, achieved these ranks. So the myth, the man, the myth, the legend is that they started with like Tupperware, apparently. But here's where it gets like, I'm like, there's always more to the story, because they've got a big fucking company, and they had big fucking dealings. But it's like we were in Venezuela selling Tupperware, and all of a sudden we're in the US and we've made Monat, and it's amazing. That's what it's like. You're made to think. They've got a big fucking company, and I think it's called Alcora Corporation. And if you just poke around that website, Alcora, they had something going on. I don't know whether it was in Venezuela or other countries, but it looks like another multi-level marketing company or some kind of company that sells all kinds of health wellness products, like skincare, all this kind of thing. They have all different subsidiaries. You don't get that from just selling Tupperware and barely scraping by, and there was also a story where they were like, like being really poor, almost like having to sleep under an overpass, that kind of narrative when they came to the States. That's the mythology. But they have a big fucking corporation. There was stuff going on already. And then they were like, what I also heard, this is all like these little pieces, like through uplines and different groups, and going to Monations and hearing them talk on stage, because he would, like the president and also the son and the daughters, and that would come out and they'd speak on stage. But he would, he's give these believe in yourself. He always seemed like a really kind man. If you're just sitting there listening to him, like you wouldn't think he's, fucking network marketing, just taking advantage of all these people. But if you listen to him, he sounds like a nice guy. It was only at 2021 Monations, when I attended virtually, that this was the first time I heard him and his son say, it's like, there are negative people that are like weighing you down like anchors on your team. You got to cut them off. Like those negativity. That was the first time I ever heard that. And maybe it had been going on before, and I had finally just started to wake up. But in my mind, I was like, this is a new direction. Also, I had noticed at the same time this huge religious push from Monat as well. They had a choir, they had a church choir on stage, all in purple robes, fucking giving her, and this preacher. I'm going off on a tangent, but this is what these lives are about. There was a preacher that, I don't know whether he was like this famous preacher that also like consulted with Kanye. Like, I'm totally fucking serious. All these people are connected. I don't know for sure, but this is like what I'm remembering. And he opened up his speech, and maybe I've said this before, but it bears repeating. He's like, welcome, all Monations, and we're like, woo. And he says, like, it's a fact that women speak 20,000 on average, 20,000 words a day, and men only speak 7,000. And that's a fucking lie. It's one of those things that some other cult dude made up. It's not even real. But he started the whole speech like that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? First off, you're a preacher. Why are you speaking at Monations? Secondly, you're opening up with this fucking misogynistic bullshit that's been disproved. Why is your perspective? Like, I mean, it's clear. You're like trying to fucking say, if that's the opening line of your speech, that women speak more than men, I wonder where it's going to go. I wonder where possibly this direction is going to go when most of these people running this company and these companies are men. Like, listen to them. Avery Joe says, I tried Googling Enrique Iglesias Monat, but I couldn't find anything on the first page. I bet you it's scrubbed. If only I had the foresight to like keep some of that stuff. One of the first things I did when I woke up and I was getting so mad, because I lost friendships overnight, just like right away, and pushback from people that had been my friends, is I threw everything out. I'm finding like little occasional things from Monat, and I've got a lot of shit saved on my computer, but a lot of the hard copies of stuff, like, it's gone. But it did feel good to throw it out. I wish I had burned it. Jaina says Alcora Corporation. Thank you. Jaina says, I started to do digging, but I ran into Alcora Corp, and I was like, I don't have the time right now. I think it's like they're all connected. And it just, the more you dig in and the more you see, the more shocking it all gets. I'm just only new to speaking out. And I'm only a year out, and I can't even believe how everybody is so connected. All these companies, it's like, are you kidding me? I don't even know. And I just know that I'm like, my personal experience is what's going on is wrong. And then like you just start peeling back the layers, and it's like, it's fucking like out of a sci-fi movie. It's like, how is this even possible that this is going on? Jana says, and I found that most people who own and run MLMs have illegal dealings going on behind the scenes. Why doesn't this surprise me? Like fraud or money laundering or Ponzi schemes or PPP loans, fraud, or et cetera, et cetera. That's interesting. And that doesn't surprise me. The only, you think of like the 2 documentaries I've seen. I know there's other ones out there about Herbalife and Amway. I haven't seen those ones yet, but I saw LuLaRich, and then I've seen The Vow, and also Seduced inside the NXIVM cult. So I've seen 3, right? And they're not like The Vow and Seduced don't dive into the multi-level marketing aspect of it, but it was a multi-level marketing company. And multi-level marketing, like fucking like Keith Raniere, when he was part of Consumer Byline, he started a multi-level marketing company, and then he just started another one, even though he was banned from ever having another multi-level marketing company. He just didn't put his name on it. And he was like, of all those things, fucking trafficking, everything, money laundering, like, they're so unethical, and they tell themselves, I don't know whether they believe this or they must know what they're doing, that they just tell themselves whatever they're doing is in the greater good. However they rationalize it to themselves, they all do it. You have to do it. You have to lie to yourself. You have to believe, or you don't even have to lie to yourself. You just have to, there's illegal shit going on. It makes sense that it's just going on in all aspects of their lives. Jana says, you are doing a great job, and I really appreciate you speaking out. Thank you, Jana. Avery Joe says, NXIVM is terrifying. Yes, it is terrifying. Andre says, hey, trying to catch up, listening on 1.5 speed. Oh, I noticed in my other live videos that I've done on YouTube, I haven't done that many, but I noticed I would rush through the comments, and I wasn't speaking as clearly. So I thought, I'm going to make sure I take the time to read the comments this time, because there's really good conversation that can go on and other ideas that we can talk about. And I think it was still, I have that residual Hunbotness where just make sure everybody gets recognition, where nobody really gives a shit. It's just like you're on a live, you're enjoying the conversation, whatever. But it's this weird kind of like, I'm like separating how I used to behave, who I used to be, with who I am now. And like, we're always changing and shit. But anyway, that's why I thought that this would be a cool way to kind of like take what I've learned and I'm learning and then do a live. Cause I really do enjoy going live without strings, just hanging out. Jana says, Keith is a great example of the trash that owns these MLMs. And everybody's like greeting you, Andre. I don't know how to say your last name, Popescu. I'll just say Andre. You can please correct me. I'm going to have another drink of coffee. Cheers. So with Keith owning or being part of NXIVM, because he didn't have his name on the documents to get around the ruling that he couldn't have another network marketing company. And you see so many people like saying, oh, but there was all these good things that I learned from it. It's really hard for people when they leave, I know, to speak out, because they did learn good things. They could have learned those good things anywhere else, but they happened to learn them here. So there can be in that whatever group they're a part of or network marketing company, and they felt like a part of something, a community. They had a purpose. They were busy. They felt like they were learning and growing. And I've heard a couple of different examples of things. One of them I had shared in a video here was it was like a meme for narcissism or narcissistic behavior. And it was like you're on a boat and somebody like the owner of the MLM like throws you off the boat and then throws you a lifesaver and then rescues you. And then you're like so happy and grateful for this multi-level marketing company or this multi-level marketing coach that saved you. And you are not in danger of being saved or rescued or I can't even fucking talk. They fucking threw you in. Another thing that I thought of is that because people, and I myself included, have been like, oh, I did learn these things. There was some value in this. But here's the thing, even if you're in a vulnerable place, a lot of people are in a fucking vulnerable place when they join these multi-level marketing companies. And it's like I don't want to say you're broken, but say a bone is broken. And a bone is gonna, you need rest. And say it takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal, just say generally speaking. It doesn't matter if you're in a fucking cult or if you're in your house or if you're at Costco or wherever the fuck you are. You spend 6 to 8 weeks healing, the bone heals. But when you're in multi-level marketing, you're like, I was in this bad place. I didn't have any friends because of this network marketing. Now my life is transformed. It's like you could be in a vulnerable place, and time, it didn't even matter what you're doing. Time heals. Even if you're doing everything wrong, working against it. Eventually, just if shit goes on, like we start healing and we like wrongly attribute, this is what I'm thinking anyway. Feel free to disagree. This is just me thinking out loud. Is a lot of times the healing we falsely attribute and wrongly attribute to the multi-level marketing company or our uplines or our coaches, where the healing was going to be going. The healing happened anyway. It wouldn't even matter what you were doing, feeling like we have to have some control over things. So that was another thing I just thought of. Avery Joe says, what coffee are you drinking? I'm drinking, it's Kick-Ass. It's Kicking Horse. It's either Kicking Horse coffee. And they have a Smart Ass brand, but I think it's either I'm drinking the Smart Ass or the 454. And then I put like hazelnut coffee stuff in it. It's weird. I can't have like real like milk. I have to have that fake chemical stuff because the real milk, it's like, it doesn't feel good on my stomach, but the fake chemical-y stuff, it's like, I feel really good. Do you drink coffee? Are you drinking coffee right now? Jana says, there's nothing more fun than just hanging out on a live. I love just chit-chatting, talking shit, and having fun and learning. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Thank you. And Avery Joe says, where I find value? YouTube and Google. Absolutely. Jana says, exactly. The boat is a perfect example. And Shadow says, all the chemicals all the time. Especially sour candies are good. Oh my God, I love those. Okay, this was another random memory I had. So I was part of Rankmakers. They had events, just like multi-level marketing companies do. And they were the same, like LGAT, large group awareness trainings. Fucking culty as fuck. Same thing. You get a high emotional arousal state, whatever it's called. And then they sell you shit. And there's different people that go on there. I just remembered this too. There was like Noah St. John. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. He wrote a book and I thought it was the greatest thing. It's again, like, I forget what his shtick was. It was something so fucking stupid, but I thought it was amazing. And what was it? And he was like, he trademarked, I had this idea in the shower and this is how you like transform your mindset and attract all this money to you. And this guy did this presentation at Rankmakers Live, one of the first ones I went to. I think I only went to 2 in person. But I remember I was so fucking excited to see him. And I asked to like get I brought his book with me. And then he like, I didn't want him to sign it because I'm like, I don't care about that. I care about getting a selfie or a fucking picture. I call everything a selfie now. And then I'm going to like put this all over social media. I'm like, look at how cool this is. I met this guy and I like marked it all up. I had like asterisks. I don't know if I still have it. I should see if I still have it because I threw out a lot of books. But I remember also at the same Rankmakers Live is you could like go get your picture taken with Ray as well. And this was the first one that I went to. And he's like, do you have my book? I can sign your book. And I was like, no. But I had fucking Noah St. John's book. Even at the time I knew. It's so funny. Some of the shit I got right back then, I'm like, good job, Julie. Good job. So anyway, at these Rankmakers Live events, that's what it was called, Rankmakers Live. And I've since learned that a lot of these events, they like to tack that word live at the end of them. But there was a dude, his name was Garrett McGraw. It's spelt McGrath, but I think how it's pronounced is McGraw. He was like a really funny guy. He laughed maniacally, which I identified with. I'm like, this fucking guy's like me. He always seemed really, really funny, but it was so manipulative looking back. And he would tell us when you'd get in, he's like, when you come in here, if you're on time, you're late. So this is the large group awareness trainings. It's about behavior control. These events, there was not a lot of time to eat in between things. You weren't getting enough water. You weren't getting enough food. You could go for bathroom breaks. It wasn't like that where you're like, you can't go for a bathroom break. You could slip out at any time. And they also ran always past when they were supposed to do. So it'd be like 10 o'clock at night or something. It was and there was no need for this, but there is a need for it because it's about behavior control. So he would say, welcome everyone. And then always with the excessive gratitude. Thank you so much to Ray and Jessica Higdon for having us here. You are leaders in this industry. They're always so effusive. And every subsequent speaker would do the same thing, which it's really weird to now, watch the vow and seeing all these people pay tribute to Keith. If you see them on stage and they're all saying, happy birthday, Vanguard, you're the best, Vanguard. I'm like, this is the same thing across the multi-level marketing industry and including the multi-level marketing coaching industry. So this Garrett McGraw, you get on, you're sitting there in your seat and you have to dress like business attire. You have to look the part. That's what we were like coached to do too, like dress up. So like people that never wear fucking suits are like wearing suits. If you can get your ass to Florida to begin with anyway. So we're all sitting there, we have our notebooks and we're going to like take all these notes of how we're going to be transformed in all this training. He says, if you're on time, you're late. You should be here 15 minutes early. And he spoke with a lot of these thought-stopping cliches to all those sayings that they all say. But at the time, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I've got to remember to say this to my team, right? Make content with this, do a live video on this. And he also said this. This is the point that I'm getting to. Is every time we come back in, like after lunch or after a break or something, is to sit next to somebody totally different. And they even did that at like during the lunch times. If you paid for a higher price ticket, they'd separate you. You could get in like general admission, or you could, pay more as a VIP. I fucking bought the VIP because I did fucking everything, right? And then you got this ribbon, like the lanyard with the fucking VIP. It's more stupid shit. Monat would do the same thing. If you reach certain ranks, you'd have all these different ribbons and you'd be like walking around, like, look at how amazing I am. But at Rankmakers, it was just how much you forked over to be like, have more access, like feeling like you have exclusive access with like to these top earners and to like Ray. So the VIP one, like you'd get like a lunch. I think the general admission, you just didn't have a lunch. The VIP option, you'd like get a lunch, and it was like this purple fucking ribbon. And then there was super VIP, which whatever you got. The next time I went, I had purchased this super VIP ticket thing, but then the pandemic hit. And so then it was like, they said, oh, well, it's not going to be refunded, but we're going to like give you the free pass for the next one. And then when you couldn't fly out because of the pandemic or whatever, then they were like, well, you can attend virtually. We'll give you this swag box. They mailed out this box just of their shit, like a tumbler with the logo Higdon Group on it. And like, it's just all this shit, right? That you're paying like whatever, like $600 or $700 to go to this event to get a red ribbon that says super VIP. Anyway, if you go even to sit with lunch, don't sit next to your friends or family or your teammates. Always sit next to somebody that you don't know. And that's a fucking cult tactic. A lot of these things, I'm watching these, different documentaries or listening to a podcast or reading, doing my own self-education. And I recognize it as something that was used on me and my friends. And that's a fucking cult tactic, is to separate you from your familiarity. Because then you can, if you're around like similar people, your friends, you have this safety. You could start critically thinking. All of this is meant to erode your critical thinking. And they'll say, no, it's not about that. It's about breaking you out of your comfort zone. You need to network. You need to, you're at this event. You've paid all this money to get here. Good for you. Congratulations for being one of these people that is going to take your business seriously. Use this as an opportunity to really stretch yourself. They will talk out of their ass to fucking get you not to critically think, and it will make sense. But them forcing you and using shame as well, and then with all the peers around you, you're all in this high arousal state. Like, I better pay attention. I better obey what he's saying. What is the fucking point of not sitting beside your friends at an event? There is no point. That's meant to control your behavior. It's just another tool. Okay. Thank you. Who is Avery Joe? You're so good. Thank you for deleting the sexy messages. I'm going to scroll back and read some of your comments. Avery Joe, who's doing an amazing job moderating. Thank you, by the way. I had coffee this morning. We used Two Brothers coffee. I haven't heard of Two Brothers. That sounds good. Jana says, OMG, I definitely need the smartass coffee. Or maybe I don't need to be any more of a smartass. And it has a picture of a donkey on it. It's like, Shadow says, I'm a recovering non-toxic. Everything will kill you on. Sophia says, hello. Everybody's saying hello to you. Jana says, put it on the Facebook. I will post it and I will put it on the Facebook. And later on, I will come to the YouTube and I will learn how to do the live videos on the YouTube. Lift Panic. Hello. This is a surprise live. I thought, well, why not? Says, yay, Julie live. And Shadow says, waiting with bated breath for the word salad. And Gwen says, if they weren't on stage 15 minutes early, were they late too? And that's a good point, Gwen, because they would always be late. They never started on time. You know how many times we'd have to wait for whoever was supposed to be on right after lunch? Or wait for Ray to come up to do his speech. He was always late. Late for the morning. I remember this too. Like, it depends. I was also with Inner Circle for that year. And we had like another, I don't know whether we had a special ribbon. We had another special designation. And if we were in Inner Circle, we would have like a special pep talk or something by Ray. And we went into this special room. We had our like coffee and tea. And I remember he came in, he does this speech. It was just nothing. It was just more of the same shit. Even then, and that's when I was deep in. I remember like, he now hasn't said anything. Like, this has no substance. It's so fucking weird to talk about this now, because you would think that if you're aware that this has no substance, and I knew that, but yet it's like you just make it like it's okay. And it wasn't like for me, my experience, I wasn't like, I must be missing something. There's something wrong with me. I was very clear that there was no substance to that one of many speeches or rousing fucking pep talks. But I just didn't care. I think I must have just found so much value in other things. But I'm sure there's some things that I make it right in my head. But that one I didn't. I knew, I'm like, this was the fucking thing. The coffee was all right. Free coffee is good. Here we go. So yes, Gwen, if they weren't on stage 15 minutes early, were they late too? They weren't considered late. They can do whatever they want because they've arrived. You see, you're a mere peon. Avery Joe says, no, I will sit with my friends. Thank you very much. Exactly. Yeah. Jana, didn't Ray have a pair of shoes with his face on it? Yes. Or am I thinking of something else? Yes, they did. So I had, this wasn't when I, was still within Rankmakers. This was when he had that weird link up with Joe Dispenza, who I was calling Coconut Joe. I'm sure I've talked about this, but it's a fucking joke. I think it's hilarious and I will beat it into the ground. There was a clothing company in Canada, Western Canada at the time when I grew up, and it was called Coconut Joe. And it says Coconut Joe, a legend in his own mind. And I fucking took a little screenshot of Joe Dispenza's face and stuck it. On like Coconut Joe, he's wearing like a Panama hat or whatever. And I made a fucking story once a long time ago. And 3 people understood and they thought it was great. So for me, in my mind, I'm like, fucking yes. So with Joe Dispenza, he apparently at the last Rankmakers Live, not 2022, but last year, 2021, he was selling a course for $10,000. And as part of this, if you purchase this course, this special course that Joe Dispenza specially made for Rankmakers, then you would also get a pair of running shoes with Ray's face on them. When I was in Rankmakers, and I did that Rankmakers Live 2019, he'd always use this example of grapey grape. So as an example of giving marketing advice, say you're selling this coffee cup. But instead of this coffee, it's called grapey grape. This product is called grapey grape. And he'd always fucking use this example. So all these people that would hire him as their coach, it was called Top Earner Club at the time. I don't know if they're still called that. They'd be paying like 25 grand a year to have him coach them, right? Can you imagine the quality of that coaching? I wonder if he's giving them prayers now. Oh, or they're like outcast. They're like all freaking spiritual warfare. Fuck, who knows what's going on. But anyway, they were like, they bought him all this fucking swag that had like his face on it. And it was purple and it said grapey grape. And we thought it was the funniest thing ever. Like all of us, we were like, oh my God. There was even like socks. There was all this shit. And they would, and we thought it was so funny. It's like, it's so culty. And I realized I was part of this really fucking obscure cult that it has. I mean, there in its prime, there was about 16,000 people, I think, on Facebook that were part of Rankmakers, which is not just a few hundred people. Like it's fucking 16,000 people somewhat connected with this fucking group. However, if they went to these events or whatever, 16,000 people never went to Rankmakers Live. But largely, it's a virtual cult. It's not like these other cults where they're all like you're living together, you're seeing each other all the time, or you're doing these. It's a whole other thing, which is the multi-level marketing industry too. It's this virtual thing. It's really weird. Okay. Shadow says, how the people are at the event, they are all sitting with their notebooks waiting for the word salad to take notes. That's exactly what happens. We're just sitting there waiting, and we're taught, oh, this is another thing that you just triggered or reading your comment just triggered, is that if you even leave, if you want to skip a session, you weren't given the schedule. Because they said, you don't know when a piece of information or a training is going to land and it's going to literally change your life. They love to say literally change your life. So if you decide to step out, or if we gave you the schedule and you knew who was going to be talking about what topic, that's actually a disservice to you. Because if you miss that training, one person is going to say one thing and that would have skyrocketed your business. It's what place, what presentation, what group doesn't give you the fucking timetable, but tries to coerces you to attend, fearing that you're going to miss something. Fucking cults do. Oh my God. Jolene, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. OMG, the different ribbons reminds me of the sashes from the vow. I never put that together. It's true. Monat, they had all those different levels. I remember I went to Monations in Columbus, Ohio, and somebody said to me, one of my friends, I don't know who, they said, like there at Monations, they said, oh, did you check in to see if you got your lanyard with your different ribbons? I'm sure you have additional ribbons or something. And I'm like, no, I don't think I do. But I thought, okay, well, I better go. They have all these various check-in desks, and it's like, in these convention centers and shit, they go all out. Like, this is where all your money goes. It's all like balloons and it feels so great. And everybody appears to be so happy. And, you go into this one line, and like, if your name starts with like A to, L, go in this line or whatever. So I'm like, I go there and they're like, hi, how can we help you? And I'm like, oh, my friend told me that I need to come in here to check in. I'd already checked in. But they look down the list, like, no shit. They're like, oh, no, you don't have any additional like ribbons or qualifications. It's like, but keep trying. I was like, fuck you. Like, it was so fucking like, even then it was like the condescension, even from the fucking staff. It was just so stupid. I remember that too. And I'm like, well, fuck you. I don't care. Right? I'm so much better than you. I'm a fucking market partner. Oh, man. Jaina says, oh, definitely, Shadow. With all the trainings and videos I've watched, I've never taken a single note. You've never had to take a single note because they don't say anything at all. It was painful for me to look at people's posts on Facebook about what they learned at Rankmakers Live this year, 2022. They're learning nothing. It's really bad. And I now know what people thought about me when I was posting all of this shit. Prospect more people. Get out of your comfort zone. Like, I posted shit like that as if it was the most amazing wisdom. I'm so grateful I went to this thing and I learned something I already fucking knew. Lauren Smith says, dang, I'm about to hop on a work meeting, so I can't hang, but I just wanted to say hi. Excited to watch the replay later. Thank you for saying hi, and I hope that your work meeting it goes smoothly. Jaina says, definitely, Jolene. Ugh, the sashes. Jaina says, hi and bye, Lauren. Thanks for popping in. Gwen says, why can't we sit by our friends at their meetings? If I ask questions, can I be in their group? Yep. It's all about separation. And it's all about, and that's what they do, because if you're separated from the familiar, and then there's emotional instability and you don't know what's coming, then you're more open to receiving the indoctrination. And all of these events are the same. It's really, I think this is something too, that because I'm new to like speaking out and seeing it. I just see it like it's all the multi-level marketing industry. All of these companies do the same thing. I'll see, a rep from one company doing a training. I'm like, that's the exact same thing that we did in Monat. And and these events are the same way. They begin with, welcome everyone, I just want to congratulate you are the ones that are taking your business seriously. Like they always say that, congratulations to you. They give yourselves a round of applause for being here, that you're so, this shows that you are, you deserve things, all this shit. They all say that. Then they'll say something like, who's here from Australia? They always want, who's here from the furthest away? Who's here? Who lives the closest? They all do that. And they're all like, oh, wow. See how this person caught 53 planes and slept under an overpass and had to pick up pennies and fucking roll them up and give them to their Uber driver to get here. Be like Joe, like they do shit, and we're all like, woo. All of them do this. Doesn't matter what company you're in. Gina says you should be grateful just to be in their presence. I know that's said with jest, but that's the truth. One of my friends who's still fucking in deep in Rankmakers. I remember she went to the super VIP option when I was just the mere VIP option. And she said, next year, make sure you buy the super VIP option, because just being in there, being around these people, she didn't say being in their presence, just being around them, you learn so much. She says, just having this an easy conversation over lunch, I'm learning so much. I'm leveling up. And it's not true. But we believe this shit just by being around. That's how else it's sold is if you're around people that are 7, 6, 7, 8 income earners, it somehow levels you up because you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with, which is bullshit. That's made up. It's made up, just like that fucking preacher said about how I always think of Dusty Springfield. The only one who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Anyway, fucking the preacher dude saying that all these people, all these women say 20,000 words and fucking men don't. Like, it's made up. It's not fucking rooted in science. But everybody says it, even people outside the multi-level marketing industry, but particularly in. So you want to hang around, you want to rub elbows with those people. That if you rub elbows with them, maybe you'll lock arms with them too. These people that have achieved like massive success. And you don't know if they actually have achieved massive success. They say they are. They've paid all this money, but you don't know what their debt is, or nobody's keeping a profit and loss statement. But the appearance, everybody's gussied up. Everybody's dolled up, like fucking to the nines. It's fucking weird. Somebody had commented on one of my videos that they were They worked at the hotel where fucking Rankmakers Live was at this year. And they were like, it was so culty. And I'm like, fuck, I can just imagine what I looked like when I was there, you know, like so excited. Fuck, I'd like wake up, I'd like prospect 20 people, I'd get up really early, like do a live video, take notes, and fucking like get down for the first session of the morning. Oh my God, waste of time. Jana says the shoes, OMG, I thought it was a joke, but it's real. It's real. There is a joke post out there about like shoes with his face on it. But I believe that was like, you know, like an April Fool's joke or whatever. But aside from that there is a fucking pair of shoes, and it went with that Joe Dispenza course for 10 grand. And Avery Joe says it was definitely real, Janet. I think Aaron talked about it. Shadow says, oh no, not the grapey grape. Fucking grapey grape. Fuck, it's like these memories trigger, you know? Fucking grapey grape was the biggest thing. I wonder if he still talks about that. Probably not. Now he's turned QAnon conspiracy theorist. Are you? I better say that slower because it's true. Run the World says hello. Hello. Jana says, OMG, he's turned QAnon conspiracy theorist. Have you started watching Wednesday on Netflix? Maybe I'm like the last person to watch this. This is a spoiler alert. I don't know. I haven't watched all the episodes, but this is a spoiler alert. Because I'm like, that's fucking Raise the Pilgrim. The fucking pilgrim, and then like burning down everybody that's like different. I can fucking see it. This is it. You're all of the devil. Like that's where this is trending. Like what the fuck? Anyway, that's what I thought of when I saw that. I'm like, oh shit. You gotta have dark humor about this because otherwise, it's too much. And yeah, and I also saw somebody had posted, I've been taking a break off social media, which I don't count. Conveniently, I don't count YouTube as social media, which it probably is, but that's my flexible morality left over from being on bot. So anyway, I've been taking time off like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. One of my friends had sent me a message showing like Ray had posted, I'm getting rid of Netflix and Disney Plus because of the double or whatever. I'm like, this is the fucking second time the dude has supposedly got rid of Netflix. The first time there was this outrage because there was a show of like girls dancing. I don't remember the show. I don't remember it. But he capitulated to like whatever his like clients wanted or to make him look good or something. So his word is shit. He's like, that's it. Netflix is done. I'm canceled it. But then he's like fucking had to cancel it again. He's probably on there fucking watching Wednesday right now, right? On his fucking iPad. It's like, this is a really good show. Fuck. Andre says, what do you think about Rejuvenate oil? Because the Monat Huns are talking about it like it is the best thing. I thought, when I was in Monat, I thought it was the best thing ever. And I still have a document saying 101 uses for Rejuvenate oil. So the Rejuvenate oil was made of, it has a unique molecular structure that it can't, this is what we're fucking taught, that it like seeps into your skin. See, most oils, they're so shitty compared to Monat that they'll just sit on the surface of your skin or they'll sit on the surface of your hair or your scalp. But Monat's unique molecular structure, it seeps in and it will truly nourish your follicles, fucking everything. So when I was using Monat and the few years when I had like really good results with it, I would give myself like the scalp treatments. I'd like take some squirt up in an eyedropper, like put it all over my scalp, rub it in, put it throughout my hair, and like go to bed overnight and then wake up in the morning and then wash it out. And I thought it worked. Whether the fuck it did or not is beyond me, but I believed that it was working. And they'd also say to put eye drop, like little drop or two in your mascara or put it in your body lotion. Like when you're in Monat, like we fucking love it. So Rejuvenate oil is the flagship product of Monat. That's how they sell it. Like this is how we based our company from. This is the flagship product of Monat. It's in virtually all of our products, even in our hairspray. So when you're using our hairspray, Refinish Control hairspray, by the way, I fucking remember all this stuff. You're actually nourishing your hair. And our hairspray, you can brush your hair and it will still hold its style. What else? Rejuvenate oil. You could just put it on your as an oil for your face because it mimics our body's sebum. That's what they'd say. It closely mimics what the oils our bodies naturally produce. And that's why it's absorbed so fast. Jana says, what? Skyrocketing your biz? Oh, geez, that's a big pile of BS. Yes, it is. Gwen says, I have no intention of joining any MLMs, but I'm learning more in-depth info from you. Thanks, Julie. You're welcome. And Jana and Run the World are both saying 53 airplanes. The more adversity that you encountered to get to Rankmakers Live, or particularly Rankmakers Live, because at like a company event like Monations, there's just too many people there. But at Rankmakers Live, it's a smaller place. So any way that you could like tell your story of how you got there, how hard it was, how you sold your fucking truck to buy the ticket to get there, they like that. Ooh, they like that sacrifice. Because it's like them, look at how important we are. How fucking gross is that? I would never take money from someone who would have to like deplete themselves and put themselves on the line at risk like that. But in the multi-level marketing industry and the coaching industry, they eat that shit up. Andre says, I'm so glad you're out. I really enjoy your videos. Thank you. Jana says, you were just a merely VIP. Exactly. I needed to be a super VIP. Well, I learned my lesson because the next year I became a super VIP, but then the pandemic hit and I was fucked. I missed my opportunity. Run the World says, you don't want to rub with my scary elbows. Jana says, no, I haven't heard of Wednesday on Netflix. So it's about the Addams family, the young girl in the Addams family. And it's a pretty cool show. I'm enjoying it. Like there's some stuff where I'm like, oh, whatever. But it's cool because there's a lot of references from when I grew up. Like they play Metallica, like with a violin or, and then they have, they even have an Amy Mann reference as one of the titles. I think I don't know, it's episode 2 or 3 where they're like, woe is the loneliest number. Because they use the word woe all the time. I won't get into it, but anyway, they keep substituting woe for whatever in each episode title. And Amy Mann's song 1 is the loneliest number. And I'm like, that's really cool. Like I felt like fucking right on. There's like a reference that's like mainstream that I can get. Like, yes, they even have like these yearbooks of 1990 and 1991. And I'm like, this is great. So it's enjoyable. Like I thought it was pretty cool. And this is also like a spoiler. There's one episode in there, I think, because now Netflix is like encouraging you to keep binging. It's so cool. They're like, only 2 more episodes to go. It's like cheering you on, like, you've got this. So however many episodes there are, I only have 2 more episodes to go. So whatever that is, I'm at that. This is the episode. This is a spoiler alert. They address like being in a cult. It's also like addressed with like multi-level marketing, not like so directly about multi-level marketing, but they fucking talk about being in a cult and a personal development app. And one of the students has left a cult, and I'm like, this is really cool to show how easy it is to get sucked into this. And they use the personal development topic, which I thought, this is fucking awesome just to have that in mainstream, like education. I wish this shit had been like in shows I watched as a kid, Instead, it's just fucking facts of life and fucking Tom and Jerry and the Flintstones. Avery Joe says, can we just not shame people for watching Netflix? Exactly. But in multi-level marketing, you're an embarrassment to humanity if you're watching Netflix. They're like, you're so lazy. You could be building your life. You could be hustling. You could be doing all these other things instead of just rolling over on the couch and watching Netflix. That's the language. I use that in a post that I made after one of the many trainings that Ray had done in Rankmakers. And I was like so jacked up. I made this like post, fucking Facebook. Oh my God. I was so fucking obnoxious. And that was it. It's like, instead of just giving up, it's like, it's enjoyable. That's entertainment. The shame, it's so weird. It's so bizarre. And what's so funny is, I'm using the word so a lot. is how much time you have when you get out of the multi-level marketing industry and when you fucking just aren't on social media. I think for people that have been really in like MLM and they're always on their phone, it's amazing if you just put it down. It's how much fucking time you have in a day. You don't even know what to do with yourself. You're like, oh my God. Like if you get up at like 7 a.m., by the time it gets to 3, you're like, holy fuck. Like the day is still going on. It's amazing how much time opens up. And that's one thing they always sell is like time freedom, time and money freedom. But I agree with you, Avery Joe. Can we just not shame people for watching Netflix? Netflix is so awesome. I wish Netflix had been around when I was growing up. You can just binge watch shows. Oh, instead of waiting every week, you had to be there at 5 p.m. Otherwise, you're hooped. You're never going to see that episode again. You know, with Netflix, oh my God, you don't even have to watch commercials. So great. Run the World says, say what? What's the devil got to do with Netflix? I'm confused. We all are confused. Basically, when somebody believes that they're a prophet and chosen by God, it's very easy then to, if you don't agree with them about anything, you're of the devil. So that's it. Doesn't matter. And it could change. So apparently, whoever is, or whatever show has personally affronted him, or his friends have said has personally affronted him, or whatever, but Disney and also Netflix are like of the devil. So I've got to fucking cancel it. I not only have to cancel it, I got to make a fucking post, and I got to post it on Facebook. I'm going to let everybody know. It's like, just put your fucking phone down. Jesus Christ. It's so stupid. Looking out at, I used to do this shit. I never did that shit, but I mean, like I did plenty of other stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what it looked like. I don't even know how I have any friends still, you know? You know what I do? Because I'm pretty hard on myself, because a lot of us have purchased products from our friends being in MLMs. And a lot of them didn't realize how deep this shit goes. And I know a lot of my friends have been like that, where I did prospect them. I had these, I was an obnoxious asshole. I'm like, and I thought I was being like so cool, but I know that they've purchased products in the past. So I think that's where there's that understanding where like, oh my God, like I'm learning, you know, as you're healing and speaking out, I'm learning more, you know. Lift panic, unique molecular structure. I have I'm sure I'll be able to like unleash a Hunbot stream. I used to know all the oils that were in Rejuvenate Oil Intensive. Abyssinian oil was the one they fucking touted that. And I think it's harvested in PEI, Prince Edward Island. I don't know if I'm misremembering it, but there was sunflower seed oil. I remember I could like rattle them out. Like I would just like wow you with my product knowledge. Fuck, am I ever glad I deleted my business page, although there would be some good content from that. But no, I'm not strong enough. Shadow says, with over 100 uses. That's right. With over 100 uses, Rejuvenate Oil. You can put that shit in everything. Even we would make stuff like that, and we thought it was so funny. Oh, right? Fuck. Andre says, essential oils in the mascara can be so dangerous. I never even thought of that. Run the World says, I was thinking about that too. Jaina says, that's awesome that it's actually being shown. Run the World says, I agree. I love not looking at my phone now. Jaina says, OMG, the kids these days would flip out on the stuff we watched as kids, like Bugs Bunny and He-Man and Different Strokes and Tom and Jerry. It's, you know, it's weird because, you know, you grow up with even like different fairy tales and just these stories, what we did, and it's like you forget about it, but it's shaped how we see the world, and it's shaped our behavior and all this. And then but I forget about it, and I'll look back and I'm like, holy shit. Like what? Fuck. Jada says you had to watch commercials. You had to watch commercials, and they weren't good. They fucking sucked. You know what? This is a tangent too. Why is it back in the day, like those commercials for oh my God, I can't even remember. It's like, is it Rose Bowl? I'm so sorry. Whatever, the football, right? And they'd have these commercials. They would be the best commercials. And we would always look forward to them. We're like, these are the best commercials. This is so awesome. And now they're just terrible. They're so bad. These commercials aren't even funny anymore. And it's supposed to be, this is the time of year to make like really good commercials. It's like, whatever happened to those good commercials? This might be very specific to like just a specific set of time period that when you grew up and you understand what I'm talking about here, or maybe it's just me. Andre says Netflix is better than MLM Zooms. That's a good one. That's a good line. Run the world. I especially love not being part of the end of the month chaos and generating the beginning of the month excitement. That was a huge release for me. Oh, yes. Same here. God, there's so many things that you're a part of and then you forget. And then like in conversation, these things come up again. When I was so we'd have the added pressure of Monat, of being sent emails from Monat, being part of groups, our uplines group, our uplines group, uplines group. And then all these, so reminders, it's the end of the month, get this, buy this product, get this flash sale, remember to send out those messages to your people. But we might be a part of challenge groups within Monat, saying, if you want to run hard this month and you want to rank up, this is what you got to do, more useless activity. And then I'm also a part of Rankmakers, where they're like, this is the end of the month. You guys, this is the time. Push it. And of course, the fucking month ends, then it's the beginning of the month. You can never catch up. It's always pedal to the metal. Oh my God. And it didn't even matter anyway. You'd be doing all this shit, all this activity. And it's like, it's all for naught because you're in a pyramid scheme. I have to go to the bathroom. So I hope this is okay. I've done this. I'm not like going to go to the bathroom here, but I'm going to like just leave temporarily, but I can't hold it. So please forgive me. I will be right back. I will be fast and I will wash my hands. Okay. I'll be right back. Maybe you could go to the bathroom too if you need to. Then you're not going to miss anything. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I hope that was okay. Oh boy. Okay. Gina says, you are a pretty cool chick. Andre, do you have friends from the time you were an MLM? That's a good question. I do. My coach, one of my coaches, both my coaches actually, my one coach, I'm very good friends with her. The reality show winner, first season, I'm very good friends with her. They've since left. I've lost a lot of friends, though. Really good friends. Some friends, they had been, and these we had been, I had not been friends with my coach or the other woman who won the reality show before. We met during the MLM, but we were in different MLMs too. But we met through Rankmakers. Other like virtual friendships has been through Rankmakers, and they've left and we're friends, you know. Monat people. There's one person that wasn't in my downline or in our, it's like sideline, has left, and I'm friends with her. And I think that might be it from Monat. I lost really good friends in Monat. I might be, I don't know. I stopped going on Facebook a few days ago. My friend count was going down. I know a lot of these fuckers were like, I'm out. Julie, you're fucking coming after me, right? Or they feel like I'm going to attack them. But I had still been friends with a few people in Monat, like friends. I leave them alone. But I just want to be that presence because I believe they're going to get out one day. But there's been one person out of Monat that I'm friends with. I met her through Monat. She's left. I'm friends with her. Everybody else, I've lost them all these fucking people. Commercials still aren't good. That's what Avery Joe says. True. Run the world. I could recite commercials word for word. Drove my mom mad. Do you remember that one that was the Big Mac, BLT? No. I don't remember. Shadow says, I still remember some of the commercials from back then. Jaina, my favorite was the mom and daughter riding on horses on a beach talking about summer's eve. Oh, yeah. How stupid was that one? The femininity, right? Oh, Shadow says, like, it was so great. It's a new dial morning, up and feeling new. Run the world. So how's everyone doing today? Run the world, thank you for taking over. I went to the bathroom. Now, if I was like Han, I'd be like, thanks for taking over while I had a potty break. Fuck up. Christmas cleaning says Run the World. Andre says, OMG, that really show was so cringe. Jaina, my son, he's the oldest. He was born in 98 and he used to recite commercials. This was before the DVR was invented. Okay, next point I have to, like, we can talk about anything, and please continue to leave whatever comment you want because I'm having a good time. I hope you are too. So the last one was about Rankmakers Live. This one I have one about. This is about Monat, upline stories. This is like about the mean girl behavior that is in multi-level marketing companies. And I remember at the time, I'm like, this is really fucking mean. Like, why the fuck would you behave like this? But this is just what people do and you think it's normal. So I have two stories. One of them, so I was doing a video. I'm going to protect the identity of the people, even though they fucking can't stand me, and I'll probably never be friends with them. But we're doing this video about the porosity of your hair. That was another thing. Low porosity, high porosity. I even made a little chart using Canva that I'd use as a call to action. If you want this chart that I've created on Canva that you can do the strand test and determine if your hair is low porosity or high porosity, send me I did all this shit. Anyway, I'm doing this live video with this person and I'm explaining this strand test. You take a strand of your hair and you put it in a glass of water, and if it fucking floats, it's one thing, and if it sinks, it's another. And I'm explaining like what I've learned, what I was taught from Monat, and like doing Google searches, which who knows if it's accurate or not, about low porosity and high porosity. And they fucking make fun of me. The person that I'm fucking with that is making money off my back and my fucking team's back is like, that's not low porosity. You've got it backwards. And I'm like, oh, I thought I had it right. After the fucking live video, they were like, oh no, I was the one that had it wrong. I'm like, I know you were the one that had it wrong. They never fucking apologized. They did nothing. They had no problem shaming me during that fucking live. And I'm remembering this. And I'm like, that is so fucking wrong. Like, you don't do that, right? But you see this common in the multi-level marketing industry. Anytime there's like an upline has the potential to talk down to anybody in her downline or their downline, they do it. I was just watching Aaron Bees did a really great video of Love Winks, and it was a Zoom call leadership boot camp, and it was from 2020. And the fucking team leader is like, that's it. That's like every fucking upline ever. And I remember when I was being treated like this, I'm like, I'm never going to treat my team like this. You know, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the one that changes the industry. Another story that I had that I wrote down, because I think it's important to share this stuff, because those little stories, I know when I hear a podcast from somebody that's left a multi-level marketing company, and I hear a little story, it's like, oh my God, that happened to me too. That's why I'm sharing this stuff. As it comes out, I'm like, I'm going to share it. We're doing, I was invited to do a video, a training on how to do live videos. Cause I did a shit ton of live videos. And I was getting like a lot of like customers from that and recruits too. And so I'm invited by Monat, by my fucking uplines, whatever, in our little branch of Canada, to go in the group and actually do this training. Now, normally you can't do these trainings. You have to be at a certain rank because you're a leader then, because you're higher up on the pyramid. But I was able to like be invited to do this training. So I do this training, And in the video, I'm doing everything that I was taught from Rankmakers, which is like, hi, my name is, intro, question, content, call to action. There was like the 4 main things, and then it had expanded into 7. I had this shit memorized. I was good at it. Whether it was effective or not, who the fuck knows? But I knew this fucking training inside and out. So I'm like going through, this is how you do it. So at the end of the video, I do a call to action. And it's, in my mind, I'm like, this is really cool. I'm going to show them exactly how to execute this call to action. I'm like, if you like this, if you'd like this summarized, or my other notes on this, whatever it was I had to give away, send me a message saying more, whatever it was, and I'll send this off to you. It's a PDF. I'll send it off to you. So the next fucking person that comes on, they fucking say, oh, well, my video, I'm not going to do a call to action where you're going to have to reach out to me, because that's not what this is about. This is, we're all in this together. They fucking purposely shamed me and slagged my fucking video that I had just done, this training video. I'm like, that's fucking wrong. And again, this is just normal behavior. It's just another small example that you're like, how the fuck is this okay? That is not leadership. And yet these people think they're leaders, and they're asked, because they're at a higher rank, they're training your team. So that if this is the behavior that's held up as an example, this is what the fuck goes on, It's so brutal. It's so fucking brutal. Okay. Rashad was like, raise your hand if you're sure. That was I kind of think of Avery Joe being like, what the fuck was that? That was a deodorant commercial back in the day. Andre says, OMG, that show. Oh, I said that already. I read your comment. Run the World says, love your hat, Julie. Thank you. Jolene, I think we were friends before Monat. MLM wasn't going to screw with that friendship. Oh my God. Yeah. See, thank God I didn't count you. Thank God we're still friends. I was from TikTok. Thank God. Jaina says, the ones up top that all look and act the same. Yes, with those chuggy hats. And Jaina says, that's so fucked up. Jaina, I still have to watch Aaron's video. I've been busy trying to get Christmas done and my disability paperwork done, and I'm missing so much binging. That sounds like a lot going on. Filling out that paperwork too. Oof, paperwork is. Jaina says, people actually live in Canada. Joe, yeah. I thought Coca-Cola polar bears lived in Canada. That's about it. You should see when we were in when I was in Rankmakers and also Monat. It's such it is like that. A lot of people are like, they have no fucking clue that there's other countries other than the US. It's that bad. The fucking like navel staring, like the ego. Oh my God, it's so brutal. I remember in Rankmakers, Ray would always make fun of the province Saskatchewan. Like it was the fucking funniest name ever. Like it's a fucking name of a province. Like you're an idiot that you think that because you can't pronounce it, that it's somehow the entire country should be laughing along with you. Because you don't think it's a proper name? Like, it's so fucking gross. Like, it's so disparaging, Don't fucking insult Saskatchewan. Okay, anyway, next point here on my list. Like, what do you get heated about? I get heated about people, like, slagging Saskatchewan. Fuck, you have, like, a part of your country that's being slagged by anyway, okay, I'm gonna, like, keep the fucking focus. This was a question that I had on one of the comments. And I thought it was good. I'd answered it in the comments, but I thought it would be good to address in a video. Did you have to work yourself in the coaching that I paid for? So that's like an inner circle coaching. Teach, facilitate, support, or create graphics. And the reason why I was like, whoa, because I wasn't asked specifically to work, but it was in a way that we were asked. It's the weirdest mind fuck. So it's not like in any other normal part of life, if you've paid for coaching, you're not going to be like, okay, now you have to go do this work. It wouldn't work out that way. You'd be like, no, you're going to pay me to do work. But in inner circle coaching, it was considered this greatest honor if you were asked to do something, because you always have to be so grateful. So I was asked to do a training on content creation from my coach at the time. And she would interview me, and then I would say all these ideas for creating content. And that was used as, it was archived as part of their training, which they would then, teach other people how to create content. And it was also sent out as a reward in an email to everybody that subscribed to Rankmakers, that if you had filled out this weekly tracker, you would get access to my training. I was never paid for this, but I thought, oh my gosh, one of the coaches thinks that what I know, what measly me knows, has so much value that I have the honor of being on this, video, and I can share what I've learned. Like that's how it goes. And in that, I remembered as well, I wasn't able to be truthful in that training that I did. I remember asking for permission from my coach over and over and over again. Can I talk about this? Can I say this? Because I know that Rankmakers doesn't like to do it this way. I had to edit what I was saying, even in the training, because it wasn't fitting in with the fucking cult. It's so weird. I'm piecing that together. And another thing was, we were all told in inner circle coaching, because we'd be given assignments. So not only are we all in Rankmakers and we're all doing we're watching the daily live video, and we're given the action step, which could be, if it was Throwback Thursday, it would be follow up with 20 people or do a live video or whatever it is, whatever day of the week. Wealth Wednesday was another one. Go out and pay it forward. Give money to someone without expecting anything in return. There's always something every day of the week. You'd have to do that assignment. You had to do that. You had to do whatever the fuck your business was, whatever network marketing your was. And then on Inner Circle, you'd also be given assignments. And one of this, which falls into this category of, did you have to work yourself in the coaching that you paid for? We were told and given as assignments all the time to go into Rankmakers and share what you had just learned in Inner Circle and why other people should join, or why you're so happy and grateful for your coach or for Ray or for this special training that he just did. And you're selling Inner Circle in Rankmakers. So you're paying for Rankmakers, you're paying for Inner Circle. Then you're marketing for the Inner Circle coaching in Rankmakers. It's so fucked up. And I didn't even put that together until somebody had asked that question. Isn't that nuts? I thought that was just nuts. Okay. Somebody else had asked this question. It's they always thought it was weird that people in MLMs thank the MLM for the day-to-day stuff you buy. Like, thank goodness for my MLM for being able to put to buy these groceries. And they'll take a picture of the gas pump. Oh, thank goodness for my side hustle that I was able to buy this gas. And they're like, why do people do that? Why is that? So this is what we're taught. And it's not effective, but this is what we believe and is really effective marketing, is that it's going by thanking your multi-level marketing company for the gas that you've just purchased. You're showing the world, all your Facebook friends, anybody that happens to stumble across your content, that you're like, oh, they've got a side hustle. Wow. They had earned an extra $50 from this side hustle, and they've purchased gas with it. I wonder, I could use an extra $50. I could use some extra fuel in my car. Maybe I should ask them how they've earned that money. That's what we're taught. I also see it as this other ploy now of, you have to be grateful to the multi-level marketing company for everything. Same way as like giving tribute to Keith in Nexium, always giving tribute, always gratitude. It's never, you can never just be like, you just filled up your car with gas. It can never be you're just going out for coffee with a friend. Every living, breathing moment of your life needs to be marketed, and you're trained that you need to be grateful and give credit to your MLM. That's when it takes over your whole life. It's so messed up. Jana says, that's crazy and horrible and rude. I know there's so many horrible stories. It's really bad. And this was all normal. And a lot of this stuff, like, I've spoken at length about a lot of it, but there's even more that I didn't remember right away, or I just didn't label it or like categorize it as being that bad. It's like, oh, that's just baseline normal. It's like, that's not baseline normal. That is also really bad, right? But it's like, it's all bad. It's so messed up. Oh, somebody else had said this. This is just another comment. They said that by looking at all kinds of anti-MLM content, other people's stories, that it doesn't feel like they've failed, and that healing and realizing that the healing isn't an overnight journey. And I wanted just to validate that for you, if you're watching this and you're in a similar, situation, that you haven't failed. You got out or you're getting out. It's you have not over 99% of people have to fail. You have to fail. I came up with this example. I don't know if it's a helpful one or not, but I did this on a TikTok once. It was like, if you're on a piece of playground equipment, and 99% of people that climb this thing, they all fall and break their leg. And it's like 1% or less than 1% get to the top. And doesn't matter. All these pieces of playground equipment that are the same piece of playground equipment, but it might be called paparazzi equipment or Monat equipment or whatever. They all have the same statistics. It's 99% of these people keep falling and breaking their leg. Like, at what fucking point do you stop blaming the 99% of people from falling and breaking their leg and take a look at that piece of fucking equipment? The model is flawed. You have to fall and break your leg. You have to fail. And has nothing to do with your mindset. Although that's the way they keep everybody in there. They have to, is to push that mindset narrative. Otherwise, people would see it for the scam it was, but you make it convoluted, shroud that piece of equipment with mindset. And it's like, well, maybe, it was easier at this company. This one has a better fast start. This is the community of people that I really found an affinity for. I feel at home here. But it's the same piece of fucking equipment, playground equipment, So I wanted just to give you validation if you're in that same situation, not to feel like you failed. And it's normal to feel like you failed. They want you to feel like that it's your fault instead of the model itself. Like, a lot of these people too, these people that are right at the top are these fucking coaches. Like, if your fucking car that you bought, every model, like of your fucking Tesla, broke all the time, would you say it's your fucking mindset, or would you get all excited and be like, no, this car is a piece of shit. I want one that works. It's like, it's the same thing, but logic isn't going to get through to someone whose income depends on them not listening to the logic, or believing the lie. There's some quote that I'm plagiarizing there too, but I don't know who said it. Andre says, if I buy something, I thank myself because I worked for it. Right on. That's right. And Jana says, that's a great example. Oh, good. I'm glad that it made sense to one person anyway. The next one is, somebody had left this comment, and it was about the current CEO of Arbonne is on the board of directors at the Direct Selling Association. And they were like, in their opinion, it's a conflict of interest. I'm like, it's absolutely a conflict of interest. And it reminded me of this fucking dude, Gordon Hester. He'd paired up with Ray. And I remember, I'm like, who the fuck was this guy? Because he'd always be, during COVID, he was on Rankmakers, all these live videos, and on Ray's page all the time. I'm like, from what I understood, he had been on like the direct, or in like the FTC, somewhat employed by the FTC or something like that. And then with the Direct Selling Association. So he was basically saying, I've got insider knowledge. Like, this network marketing is the best thing that you could do for your life. And because I have this special insight because I worked with the FTC. What? That's a whole other thing that's gone on over the years. Are these people that have been employed by the FTC, and then they fucking are employed by a multi-level marketing company, or they start their own, or they're on the board of directors or whatever. I'm like, and that kind of, just that comment triggered that too. I mean, it's all the layers peel back, and it's like this gigantic, massive, crazy thing going on. But I did just do a cursory look before I did this video. And it was May 3rd, 2020. And this is on Ray's website. There's Gordon Hester. And it's so gross. You can see they're using all the search terms to maximize the CEO, maximize the fear. This is May 3rd, 2020. So the pandemic has just begun. And they're like, join a network marketing company during COVID-19. That's on his fucking website. May 3rd, 2020, Gordon Hester. You can Google that, still up there. This is another thing. Why do these people always have so much content about themselves, always videoing themselves? It's always up, all of this, like this legacy or something. It's so weird. But there was a video interview that he did that says why you should, and that was capitalized, why you should join an MLM right now. And that's what we were being taught in Rankmakers right at the beginning of the pandemic. And that was with that whole quarantine script, with what's going on in the world right now. I'm being happy and productive in my home-based business. Would you be open to taking a look at what I do to earn some extra money right now? If not, no big deal. Oh, I've got to do this. Remove. Okay. I see like a bot or whatever right now. Sex bots are here. That's what it is. Okay. Jaina says, what was his name again? The one who worked for the FTC. I want to do some digging when I get some time. I think it's, this guy's name is Gordon Hester. I think he worked for the FTC. I'm not 100% sure. But that's the way, like, it was like kind of marketed to us that he had inside information, that he'd been in the industry for so many years. And I don't know, there are people that have worked with the FTC and then they've been, in another multi-level marketing company. I think he was, but I'm not sure. He also wrote a book and they were promoting this book and also did like interviews with him, like all throughout the Rankmakers fucking umbrella, like, 14-day challenge, goal guided power group, inner circle coaching, like all on his public page, all this stuff. It was all fucking Gordon Hester. And everybody was like, oh my God, like he's so amazing. And I remember that was another one where I'm listening to him like, what the fuck does this guy know? Like, what is he saying? He said a whole lot of nothing. I remember watching these live videos. I'm like, what the fuck is he even saying? And of course he wasn't saying anything, So good luck with that, Jaina, because it might bore you to tears, but I'm just in a different place. Like a lot of this stuff, it's just painful for me to look back at. But yeah, Gordon Hester. This is something else that I just saw is this is going to be the last kind of point I have. And I have I have 2 more points actually. And then if anything else comes up, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer. I was on the tina.org website. That's the Truth in Advertising website. And they're really going after a number of multi-level marketing companies now. And maybe they always have. I know earlier this year, I virtually attended MLM Conference 2022. I don't know if you know about this. And they call it MLM Conference, but it's like anti-MLM. And I don't know why they call it MLM Conference 2022, but you can still go on their website and you can see all their videos and presentations from various like academics and researchers. And there's like YouTubers on there too. And they had Stephen Hassan on there. They had, I think it was run and put together by William Keep. So William Keep, he's the, he's been researching and advocating against multi-level marketing companies for the industry for a long time. A lot of these people know a lot more than I do. There's researchers like in these various universities putting together these presentations on things, and it was fascinating. And I was still like, kind of new. I mean, I still am kind of new, but there was this one presentation, and I'd like to, get my poop in a group and kind of get this information out there however best I can. But when they show the income disclosure statements and the compensation plan and all that stuff, there was this one researcher that showed how the presentation of the statistics and the data is purposely misleading, and how it would be more effective if they showed it in this other way. And I remember they did this bar graph, and it was like, holy fuck, this is why they make these income disclosure statements look the way they do. They do these little things to make it look like it is possible or achievable, or just it's so convoluted you can't understand it. But I remember this one specific example. And I think it was like, like a bar graph thing. And I'm like, holy shit. Like if they had to show their information in this manner, that would get through to people. But of course, it's just another layer of deception. They're not going, like, passing a law saying that they need to be honest with the information they're giving isn't going to do a goddamn thing. Like, it's a scam, I think it's pointless, but I thought it would be really cool to share that. There was a lot of really interesting information out there. There's another one, I think it was from Dr. Claudia Gross, and she did this whole report about how the structure of multi-level marketing companies ensures this kind of behavior that we see from like uplines and it's like narcissistic shit. She didn't say the word narcissistic, but that's what it is. So she showed in a traditional business, like the organization everything is within. So if an employee says our products can cure cancer, like the fucking organization is like, no, you can't do that. They get in shit. But in an MLM, you've got the company, you got Monat, and then you've got the fucking pyramid. So you've got the CEO, you've got the real CEO, the president, you have all the employees, the 9-to-5ers, the warehouse people, the customer service in the company. But then you've got the pyramid outside of it, and you've got the first founder, you got the uplines, boom, 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 all the way goes down. So people say whatever the fuck they want. Oh, our product cures cancer. Monat can be like, we never said that's not on our website. And anyway, I remember this one presentation, even at the time, it was like blowing my mind. I'm like, yeah, because I'm still like unpacking what I've been a part of, still figuring things out. I'm like, this information would be very helpful to be mainstreamed. So next time they have a conference, which will be next year, I imagine, maybe it will be in May, I'm not sure, but I want to, fucking take notes or whatever, like put that information out there. But anyway, that's where I first heard about truthandadvertising.org. And Run the World says, never heard of that conference. Yeah, I don't know if there's only been one or two. Maybe they've been going on longer. I'm not sure. But they also had interviews with Douglas Brooks, that attorney. It's very small world, this anti-MLM world. They had Robert Fitzpatrick on. They were supposed to have Yanya Lalich show up, but then there was something, there was an emergency in her family. And it was really good. So this is also tina.org, Truth in Advertising. They did this presentation about shit. And I remember that was the first time I'd heard of this group. And it was only last few days or a couple days ago where I took a look at their site again. And it's like the information, it's like when I finally get rid of more and more cult shit, I'm like, my mind opens up. I can understand more. And that's how it feels like for me. And I went on their site again and I'm like, holy shit. So it was like, this was, I think, what they had talked about. It was in 2017, between June and November. They went onto the Direct Selling Association's site, and they went through every fucking member, every company member that belongs to the DSA in 2017. And they found that over 97% of them made false income claims. And they didn't give a fuck. The DSA didn't do anything. I mean, big surprise, but they're all like, we're the member of the DSA. Lots of multi-level marketing companies say we're proud members of the DSA. We've even paid $97 or $99 to take a course that's saying we have adhere to this code of ethics. We're unlike other ones that don't belong to the DSA. They don't do shit. So over 97% of them made false income claims, and they didn't even rectify them. Some of them just didn't do fuck all. And there was some of these companies even were given awards from the DSA while they're still being Tina.org is giving this information to the FTC, contacting the companies themselves, and then also giving it to the DSA. And the DSA is like, well done, Modair, for another great year of adhering to our code of ethics. Meanwhile, there's fucking Tina.org has compiled this list of all these false health claims and income claims. It's just nuts. Jana says, I feel like the ones that make it to the top are narcissists. I'm not diagnosing. And to make it to the top, you have to be a narcissist. I know that playing or using the term, I am not an expert. I don't know, but I know using even it as an adjective, as a descriptor for behavior, I was exhibiting that same behavior because I would duplicate the behavior. I remember like just when I did that Monat video of like looking about all the information I was giving to my team to help make it easier. And I was just doing what was done to me. Just like, you just go into the back office and just press these buttons and just do this. If you've got time to look at Netflix, then you've got time to look at your back office. Like I was turning into that. Oh, it's so gross. And then that was just with Monat, but then never mind with Rankmakers. And I'm like emulating that behavior too. Okay. Jana says, I watch Lee Hammock. He's a YouTuber and he's a diagnosed narcissist. And he has so many great videos about the narcissistic behavioral traits. Oh, I don't even know who that is. Avery Joe says, sorry, brother, just got here from Seattle, stepped away for a bit. Oh, that's great that you're able to visit with your family. That's awesome. Yeah. And Jana says, oh, wow, Avery, that's wonderful. I hope you have a good time. He brought home fresh Starbucks coffee beans. That's a good brother. Oh, right on. Okay, so where I was going with this Tina.org, that's the whole kind of background of how I found out about this organization. And I think it's important to get it out there that there are these other conferences, people coming together, academics, researchers, as well as activists, like coming together and starting, like they're studying, they're doing this lobbying, counter lobbying, for the multi-level marketing industry at this MLM conference. So Tina.org, anyway, I went on their website again and it was last night. I was just poking around and this is new. So November 9th, this is just November 9th. This is just last month. They have a whole thing on Elomir. It's very good. And they have no fucking problem putting up Facebook posts with people's names and faces and everything. It's totally fine. And I saw one person up there, Amanda Hansen. I was like, because I'm there and her name is listed a number of times. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember her from Monat. So this was 2017. I'm in Monat. And then I see this woman that is also in Monat, leaves Monat and starts with some happy coffee company or something like that, or energy coffee or something like that. And she's doing all these curiosity posts and people in Monat are like, you're so bad, like you're stealing or you're whatever. There's always that, that controversy when somebody leaves a multi-level marketing company. But I was new at the time. I'm like, what's going on here? Like I'm, and I've got these reasons why I'm leaving, but I'm not going to tell you why, but I have to do what's on my heart, all this stuff, right? Anyway, she goes to this company. I don't know whether it was called Elevacity or I don't know what the hell it was called, but she's also in Rankmakers. And I remember she does quite well. This is something else you might not know. All these companies, like they'll have their own magazines. So like Monat has their own magazine and like this Elevacity or they had their own magazine. And every once in a while you get this magazine. It's not every month. It might be like twice a year or something, but it's got to be expensive because it's like fucking thick paper, glossy, like, and it's just showcasing bullshit. Like we were number 1 or number 3 on some obscure contest that's awarded to network marketers, like these awards that just mean nothing. Monat is the number 1 here, and this is fantastic, and this is the Rejuvenate oil. Remember this for spring 2023, and here is our top income earner for the States, and here's a list of everybody, the top 3 enrollers of that were at managing market builder, and this is for market builder, and this is for associate market builder. It's just this fucking thing that comes, it's just propaganda, right? And she was on the cover of this new company. And then I remember she was also supposed, this is all fucking unlocked as I'm on Tina.org's website looking at Elomir, because I'm like, they've actually investigated Elomir and they've compiled all this evidence. I'm like, this is incredible. And they had over 30 deceptive income claims. And her name is popping up. I'm like, I know who this person is. She was also supposed to speak at a Rankmakers live event and then bailed out. There was something that happened. But I remember she's like, I'm so honored and grateful. I'm going to be on stage at Rankmakers live. But then it never happened. I don't know what happened. And I also remember this. When I was all my time, I was doing a daily live video every day. Like, ask what's the number 1 thing you're struggling with? Let me know and I'll try to answer. And she had left a question on that post and I had done a live video incorporating her question as well. So I'm like, we're all fucking connected, right? All of us are connected. So then she left that company and I don't know if she went to another coffee company, another happy coffee MLM company, or I think that's what happened. And I remember, this is what I think. I may have this wrong, but I think they were like, oh, this product hasn't really been working lately. And I know, people are going to say that I'm, just going to another company, but I have to like listen to my heart. I got to listen to what Jesus is telling me to do. And this product is so much better. So I think there was like another coffee company, but then after that, she went to another fucking company and started it. And it was that Snap fucking one. It started Velovita or something, fucking the Snap. And I remember, because it's still not getting through, right? But I remember looking, I'm like, oh, she's posting all these people, like this person just ranked up, this person ranked up. Her whole Facebook feed is all these shout out posts to all these people on her new team that she has just joined this company. And I think she was invited to be a founder at this company too. Again, if I'm making mistakes, this is entirely my own, but this is, if you're coming across the feed, you're deep in fucking multi-level marketing land. This is how it's coming across. I'm like, holy shit. She's now in fucking Elomere. I don't know if that Snap one, if there was another company after that, but then I saw on this Elomere, so I'm like, holy shit, I know who this person is. So she's been at the top and has done the hopping thing and has probably been invited to be a founder, is deep in, maybe probably believing that she's deserving of this and is not really realizing that she's in a pyramid scheme, or knows exactly what they're doing and continues to do it anyway. But I thought that was really weird because it was somebody that had been in Monat at the same time I was and hadn't achieved a very high rank. So it's 2017 and she was like living in the US. So I think it opened in 2014. So it's already been like 3 years of churning through the US market. And I think she had been like at a mentor level, like associate market mentor or something like that. It was kind of like in that mentor range anyway, but I was like, holy shit. So I know this is the Amy Jo Show Shop says, I turned into that same way with Advocare. I didn't watch TV for 4 years. You were with Advocare. And Advocare got shut down. Did you don't need to answer this. You might not be on here, but thank you for sharing that. And if you'd be willing to share, did you get any of that payout? About $149 million. I know there was people that got some money back, good for you for getting out. And Run the World says, love fresh coffee beans. Jana says, I feel the ones who are at the top are true narcissists, just undiagnosed. Yeah, I know. I feel, I don't know. I'm probably because I'm still healing and I'm still trying to like unpack stuff. I'm like, how can anybody be like that? But I know there are people like that out there. I don't want to believe it. No, I know but I know that they do these things on purpose, right? Oh, Lift Panic says, hopping off now and we'll catch what I missed on the replay. Thanks, Julie. You're welcome. And Avery Joe says, it's hard to be at the top without having narcissistic tendencies. Jana Miller says, panic. Really? I need to go look at that article. Love Tina. Yes. And that is the tina.org Elomere article. Really good. Andre says, how much is it to be in Rankmakers? At the time, for me, it was $20 a month US. When the pandemic hit, you could pay $100 US and have a lifetime membership. And then they kicked me out of the group. I left the group, but then they said they escorted me out of the group. They said that the inner circle coaches had this little conversation. I have screenshots. I made a piece of content on this too. They're like, Julie, this is the language they said. Julie is on the MLM warpath. I was like, you might want to reconsider how you're using this to describe. Anyway, that's what they say. And then someone says, oh, Julie has been escorted out of the groups. It's fucking weird. I think it's funny though, that language. Their own magazine, Velovita. Yes, says Jana. Run the World. I wonder how much she has lost in all those MLMs. Yes. I hope she gets out. I hope these people, I hope they get out. Am I naive? I think I am in some regards. The Amy Jo says, yes, you're welcome. I did not. Bummer, eh? It would be nice if you had got some. Jana says she knows exactly what she's doing. I'm sorry. I can't believe if she's been in several MLMs that she doesn't know. See, that's what I find gross. They see behind the curtain and still participate. I do too. If that's the truth, that's so horrible. It's reprehensible. That is as taking advantage of people in such a despicable way, because you're really fucking with people psychology, psychological and emotional manipulation on top of the financial exploitation. You're making them believe it's their fault too. It's so fucking gross. It's so bad. Oh, the Amy Jo says, I honestly had no idea what I was doing until around 2018. I even told my coach I hated helping people, which is simply not true, but she just kept pushing me. Thank you for opening up about this. It's interesting how I told my coach and I said things that weren't true. And one of my friends that was in Rankmakers, Lucas Madonia, he did an interview with Daniel Bolster from Huns to Humans. And he talks about this. He said, like I said this, it's not entirely true. It's deceptive. But he knew if he said it in a certain way that Ray would post his testimonial and get it sent out in emails or give him like some exposure. He'd get attention. And he said, I quadrupled my business since joining Rankmakers. And he said, that sounds great. But it was something like, I just got 4 customers. I had 0 and I got 4. And that's fucking, but that's how we're taught. You know, it's like, I said shit I didn't mean either, but it's just so fucking weird, because it's like, there's lying when you normally lie, like normal out of MLM lie. You're like, I know I'm lying. And if I get caught, I'm like, I fucking lied. But there's the MLM part where you're like, you don't fucking know you're lying. This is what's so horrible, is that these people that are going from MLM to MLM know what they're doing, and they know how it's fucking with people's minds, where you're doing and saying shit that you don't even mean, that you got to like unpack years later, maybe for the rest of your life. For people that can't even afford therapy, like, holy fuck. It's really hard to explain. Sorry, Amy Jo, I'm just going to find your comment again to carry on. The Amy Jo show says, I started Advocare in October 2014 and quit sharing March 2018 when I moved to Aspen, Colorado, where actual rich people live, LMAO. I have friends who are actual rich people too. I don't know how the fuck they put up with me when I was in Monat. I'm like, multiple streams of income. Fuck. Jaina says, I can just see 2 big bouncers, one on each elbow, with Julie just kicking and screaming. That's what I feel. I'm like, you can't take me out. Right? I do like it. Run the World says, we got out, Julie, so let's keep hoping for them. I do. I agree. I hope so. The Amy Jo show says, a lot of people from my downline got a payout. Well, that's good. At least somebody got something, you know. It's kind of cool that some of your downline did. Amy Jo, it just proved I was getting close to the top. I was in the top 6% when I left, and I honestly had no idea. I really didn't know how to read the compensation plan, and I was in for 4 years. That's it. Nobody, and they're meant to be convoluted and meant to be that you can't understand it. And then you're so stupid if you don't understand it. Ugh. Monica, hello, Monica, says, good morning. I just woke up for work. It's 5 a.m. here in Japan. Good morning. Good morning to you. And Andre says, MLMs should publish a dictionary because they love to give words other meanings. Yes. Especially the word edification. Oh, and posture. Those 2 words would be do you have, so this is, if you have any idea of a word, what would you like to see in the MLM dictionary that they could get right? Also, pour. Quit pouring into anybody. Thank you for sharing, Amy Jo, says Jaina. Run the World says, I never understood the compensation plan either. And I don't know if it happened to you, but I was made to feel like an idiot from people above me in Monat, because I didn't understand the compensation plan. And I remember saying to them, I'm like, you know what? It feels like I have a learning disability. I don't understand what this is. And you know what? I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. And immediately they kind of like backtracked, like, oh, because it was like, how long have you been in this company and you still don't know? And it's funny because now it's like they didn't even fucking understand it. because they still believe they're in a fucking legitimate business model, you know? Who's the dumb one now? Fuck, it just pisses me off when you see a lot of good people get taken advantage of, you know? I have friends, well, they were my friends, that they're never going to get. They're never going to get up the fucking Monat compensation plan. And they're good people and they really love their products and they feel so good about their hair. You can see they go to all the events. They're, you know, one of the leaders will show them a little bit of attention and be like, I'll do a Zoom call with you. This is going to ramp up for 2023, you know, relaunch your business. Everybody's going to be fucking relaunching their business. It's just heartbreaking, you know? And I'm like, and I know that they're going to think that there's something wrong with them. And there's nothing wrong with them. They're good people, you know? Just being, Amy Jo, you have really helped me to open. The way to speak and your honesty is opening the door for me to talk to. I really appreciate you. Jana says, I was saying that if you've been at the top of multiple MLM after MLM after MLM, they know. They've got to know. Don't they? They've got to know. Monica is waving. Amy Jo, I have started an MLM buzzword dictionary Google Doc. Oh, that'd be awesome. I might have to publish it soon. It's getting long. Oh, that's hilarious. I was so cringy. I knew those Aspen people were not going to buy my shitty vitamins or opportunity. You know, but a lot of people are so, I mean, I don't know if you found this leaving. So many people are understanding, you know, they really, it's not like the fear that it's in multi-level marketing that everybody is a hater, everybody's wrong. So that if you leave, they're just going to be judging you and you're going to lose all these friends and all this. It's like, no, they're the ones that are the most understanding. And they're like, they're right there. It's all these, the whole multi-level marketing is the ones that are like, you are escorted out and you are dead to us, right? You hater. Burn. Fucking pilgrim hat. Burn. Spiritual warfare. Holy fuck. Cancel your fucking Netflix. Monica says, we can only hope they do get out eventually. Avery Joe says, no more pouring into, please. And Amy Jo, you're welcome. Thanks for creating this space, everyone. And Run the World says, new year, jumpstart your business. Yes. Oh, it's going to happen. I said I had two more things, and there's one more thing, but there's actually, because I wanted to do this Woman's World magazine. So I know this is long, and I appreciate you being on here. I've got time to kill because I got time and money freedom. So I'm going to still go off. So there's going to be two more things I'm going to talk about, unless we go off in another direction, which I'm enjoying myself. I hope you are too. Is a little bit about the reality show Play to Win. And then the last thing I'll go off with is like using these Women's World magazines to give you ideas for people that are watching this in the multi-level marketing industry, ideas how you could market your multi-level marketing business in 2023. And if you're not watching from the multi-level marketing industry, I'm going to be showing you what I did and what I was taught and how you could maybe avoid some of these Facebook Live videos or Instagram videos, pieces of content on TikTok that are probably going to be using some of these same ideas. But I like to fuck around too, where it's like I did that one training for people in multi-level marketing, how they could, you know, market better for Black Friday, because it's better information than what John and Nadia Melton were giving their fucking team for Modere. They don't have a fucking clue what they're doing either. And I thought, you know what? If you give helpful information to people, eventually it's the long game. Be more open to listening to you. Maybe when they get out, you know, they'll get out. Maybe that could be like a little, well, maybe I'll look at what else you have to say about maybe not my company, but about this company. So that's my kind of angle on those things. Amy Jo says, so many people have been so nice and positive towards me when I left. I could care less about all the uplines. I blocked them first. It's a good thing that you did. It's amazing how friendly people are when you leave. Even like people in like anti-MLM movement or whatever. I couldn't believe how friendly people were in the comments. Like I'm just blown away. I'd leave a comment. I'm like, it's not love bombing. It's the real thing. It's so different. There's always like a fear if you'd post on your team page or your company page or something. There's always going to be a fear that you're going to be checked. You know, we would say, oh, we're so full of love. I feel so safe and comfortable here. But that's not true. There was always that, like, I'm going to be put in place because I'm a bit too presumptive. It's like, I remember I was even told, don't get ahead of yourself, Julie. You get to this rank before you choose a team name. And I even fucking said that to one of my market partners because it was said to me. I'm like, that was bad. That was atrocious behavior, you know? Ugh. Amy Joe says to run the world. So Run the World says, I did that too, Amy. Block them first. You know, I didn't block my uplines, but I had to block a lot of people in Rankmakers. Holy fuck. The first time, this was on, so my first piece of content of anti-MLM was on TikTok. Right away, people from Rankmakers come after me. The people that are fucking employed by the Higdon Group come after me. And I did fucking video responses to them. I'm like, being like, I use that playground example, piece of equipment one for one of them. And I do wish these people get out. They blocked me though pretty quick. But those are the first people that came after me, was fucking Rankmakers, not even Monat. Monat came later. And then it wasn't even people, there was only one person that had been like within my downline. She would not fucking leave me alone. She was harassing me every day in my fucking Instagram stories. Just like, why the fuck are you following me? I had to block her. But it was other people from Monat, people I didn't know about. My freaking other kind of friends, uplines, there was like a couple. They ended up blocking me. The other ones I just kind of was still friends with, and they may have like unfriended me and stuff now. But that was mine. Mine was fucking weird though, because I was with Rankmakers. And then when eventually I started speaking out on Facebook, fucking Rankmakers came out full force, and it was all companies. All these people, I was like, this is why I'm anti-MLM. I'm left, and they all fucking came out. I'm so sorry that was your experience, but you can't say that about this beautiful industry. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why are you commenting on my post? You've never commented before. Go away. I've never gone to your content. Do you want me to come onto your content and tell you why you're in a pyramid scheme? You know, what the fuck makes it okay? Yesterday we were friends. Today, all of a sudden, you're acting all entitled. They'd comment, then they'd go and they'd make those passive aggressive posts on Facebook, as they all do, as we all did. Some people are now just so rude to the industry. I'm like, they did this about me, and they've done this about other people that have left multi-level marketing companies. But for me, it was Rankmakers. It was so fucking brutal. And then as I started to like get the courage to say Rankmakers, to say Ray's name, then the fucking men came out of Rankmakers. Then they were the ones that I had to delete their comments. They were sending me private messages. They were harassing me in my stories. And I'm like just setting boundaries, like, no, fucking no, block, delete, block, delete. So brutal. Tanya Elizabeth is here. Hello. And Jana says, I'm having a good time. And Jana says, I'm so glad you are out, Jamie Joe. And Tanya Elizabeth is here. Charlene. Hello, Charlene. Hi, y'all. Taking a break at work and just popping in to say hi. Love you, Julie, in a non-culty way. Who is it that says, I do love you in a culty way? Who is it that says that? There's somebody here that says that. It's so funny. And it's back. I also love you also in a non-culty way. Lauren says, woo, I'm back and you're still up. I'm still going. It's true. And I'm still going. I'll probably still, this might be like an epic long one. I think it's the longest one I've done on YouTube so far anyway. And when I first started on TikTok, there were people that would go to sleep and just leave it on live. I would never do that. Charlene says, hey, Janet. Amy Joe says, thank you. I should just say Amy Joe, but I'm reading out your name. Like, I'll just start saying Amy Joe. Thank you. My 3 college girlfriends were relieved when I left and told me that I was a major bitch when I was in Advocare. They love me through it all. I hope everyone in an MLM have people like I do. The people that see it, they see the real you. They know. And they're there when you leave. You know, it's so good. Oh, I'm so happy you still have the friends. And it's so cool that you can say that. Can you imagine having that conversation when you were still in Advocare? No way. If somebody said you're a bitch, they'd be like, you're fucking out. You're horrible. They'd like be foaming at the mouth. They'd be livid. But talking about it now, you're like, yeah, I was. It's okay. You know? Amy Joe, in my defense, I was eating a major calorie deficit back then. That says a lot too. Oh my goodness. So many people are affected by bad eating habits in an MLM. Charlene says, Julie, I infiltrated Ray's Walk in Faith group. It's fucking gross. He wants to speak at churches now. I didn't know that existed. I don't even know. I've been off. It's like when you take like 2 days off Facebook, it's like I've been off social media, right? It's been like a few days. I don't see his stuff because he blocked me from every platform. I don't actively seek out his stuff. Occasionally, like someone will tag me in something that I'll see. So I really don't know what's going on. The last thing I saw, somebody had sent me this thing where he was like, I've canceled Netflix and Disney because it's evil. And I was saying in here, he did this before. I canceled Netflix. It's so bad, but clearly he started it up again. Walk in Faith group. And he wants to speak at churches now. That's terrifying. I know there's been other people who are vulnerable who've been in Rankmakers, for 5 years that I was in, or close to it, and just listen to everything he says and just believes it. And it's so bad. They're like posting about spiritual warfare and like, you don't even know what the fuck they're saying. They just look really alarmist. Like they're really worried and scared and terrified, and they're asking for people to pray for them. It's like, you're not under fucking attack. Like you're making shit up, and it's terrifying because now there's like this weaponizing of followers. That's where this is going. That's what's scary. What's the end game here? Charlene, I don't know how you did that. Good for you for infiltrating. That's Jaina. I agree, Jaina. Charlene's like, Janet's love is all the cultiness. That's it, Janet. All your love is the cultiness. Amy Jo, I understand what Ray is doing because I was encouraged to do the same, and I kind of did. I started doing live Bible studies related to food freedom. OMG, kill me now. I hate that I did that. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is so uncomfortable to talk about. But it's also a release too, and it helps other people that might be watching that are like, fuck, I'm not alone, So thank you so much. Isn't it weird how it's like, okay, this is what is just the natural progression of things is now you look for examples in your life that bolster what you know. And for a lot of people, the Bible and religion. So it's like a natural thing. They don't realize this is really scary. This is terrifying, like spiritual manipulation, And I think what's so horrible is when you don't realize you're doing it, and then you feel it can feel like so horrible afterwards, trying to reconcile what you did. That's what I'm really worried about. People that are still in Rankmakers that are working for them. Like, I know these are good people. I really believe they don't know what they're a part of. And maybe I'm just, maybe I'm in denial. But you just see them. It's like your friends where you said they saw you, they knew you were in there still. That's how I feel about a lot of these people, how does the Bible and food freedom work? Yikes. No kidding. Lauren says, love the combo of your sweet Canadianness with your cursing. I could listen to you talk for hours. I have been going on for hours. It's going on 2 hours now. Oh my goodness. Charlene says the group was created this week. This is escalating so quickly. I felt this is something that's really weird too, is when I left, when I decided to start speaking out about Rankmakers and Monat and the multi-level marketing industry, and maybe a lot of people feel like this too when they leave, is that you feel like an urgency to speak out and you want to help people know they're not alone. I'm not responsible for getting anybody out. That's something that I'm really clear on. People get themselves out. We all have access to different information. Sometimes there's one piece of information from somewhere else that it might help you, but each of us get out on our own. I really believe that. We of course we have help outside, but it has to come from within. Like everything was given away to the multi-level marketing. And I don't think it's good to say like, thank God for you, I got out. I think that's toxic. I think that's the same dynamic of being within a multi-level marketing. It is marketing. It's imperative that people understand that they got themselves out, So I felt like an urgency anyway of speaking out and getting stronger to fucking be able to like say his name, speak about Rankmakers, because what I knew was wrong. And as I was talking to more people, I knew it was worse. I had no idea that it was going to escalate like this. And I'm really glad that I did start speaking out, even though I've really suffered fucking mentally and stuff. I've also benefited, like from healing and shit. But I am genuinely fucking terrified for people, like what's going on. This is fucking weird shit. Like, I can't even believe I'm in this position, like it's really strange. People there has to be voices that are speaking out against this, and it's like, how is it possible there can be over 16,000 people in this group and people are terrified to say his name still? Like this isn't okay, I know there's other people that are like speaking out, now, and it's just like, but it's like, where is everybody? Why isn't like more people saying this is fucking wrong? Like in Rankmakers, like, I know that's not fair for me to say. I know people can't fucking speak out, but this is what goes on in my head. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is fucking wrong. Like, shit is going to go down if nobody says anything, right? I'm like, why the fuck do I got to say something? Maybe you can identify with some of this is what's going on in my head. I'm not fucking judging people or nothing. It's just that's what it feels like, inside. I'm like, should I do this video? Should I make this piece of content? Yes, I have to. But then it's like, there's all this conflicting stuff at the same time. And there's lots of people speaking out. There's lots of people doing all kinds of advocacy. And sometimes if you're not making content, it doesn't matter. People are reporting content. It's all happening. But I don't know. There's something about like leaving and then kind of being on your own and then like speaking out where it feels like that sometimes, where you're just like, fuck. I hope that made sense. I had no idea this was going on, this walk in faith group. Anyway, the Amy Jo says, Lisa Turkhurst has a book about food, freedom, and faith. Ooh. Charlene says, I'm not sure how long I will stay in the group because as a Christian, it really bothers me. Oh my goodness. And this is the thing of people of faith, where it's going completely against everything that it's supposed to be going. I know I have another friend, I'm not going to say their name, but they're also like studying the Bible and on all this. And they're like, this is what he's doing is so wrong. It's just, it's not what I am. I don't study it. Whatever, but I certainly respect anybody's right to believe whatever they want to believe. And how he's twisting Christianity, it's really disturbing. And Run the World says, keep yourself safe, Charlene. Yeah, please keep yourself safe, whatever you need to do for your mental health. And Monica says, Ray speaking in church. Oh, please no, that man gives me the creeps. I don't like him, especially after seeing Aaron's video. Oh my God, you should see. There's like seeing him every day for 5 years. There's a reason why a lot of us can't even look at videos and content. Like someone will like tag me in something. I'm like, I can't watch it. It took me months working with a psychologist to even say his name. I can't even watch some of his stuff. Watched him that closely every day, 5 years, Even now it's hard. Amy Jo says, I'm so glad you call Ray out. Julie, he lies so much. Jana says, Charlene, you're so brave and I love your detective skills. Charlene says, it wasn't very hard to infiltrate. I think if you have a pulse, you're allowed to be in it. Yeah, because that's like the funnel. They'll be dripping on you, the drip list. Charlene says, thank you, Janet. And North Florida. Yeah, Jesus, MLM. Amy Jo, I haven't talked about this at all. Thank you for this for the space. Seriously, it did happen gradually. I did not realize the level of spiritual manipulation because I wasn't even a Christian when I started MLM. Wow, that's intense. Yeah. It is really good to have these spaces just to like vent and just kind of know you're not alone. There's power in sharing our stories, Run the World. I can't even cope with Aaron's videos featuring him in one sitting. So being in a group of his would be too much for me. I have major respect for you, Charlene, sitting in there. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. Run the World says, this is a good question. Is his wife as bad as him, Julie? What's your experience of her? So I don't know her very well. She wouldn't do very many trainings. However, I did see her on Play to Win, and she is just as bad as him in Play to Win. Horrible. They're equally as bad and manipulative, exploitive, abusive. Anybody that watches Play to Win, there's one conclusion you can come to there. Everybody can agree on that. She would do videos in Rankmakers Live occasionally. It would be usually to sell something like a vegan leather backpack, and it'd be like way overselling. It was always really lame too. It's like, this is so amazing. Look at the pockets. If you open this up, pow, this pop of color. You'd like sit through this training and you're like, are you going to get to a training, or are you just trying to sell us more Rankmakers merch? That seemed to be one of her roles. Those would be like glittery binders and pens and shits, like be grateful. Be positive, that kind of shit. That was and she'd also do live videos, occasionally trainings in inner circle coaching where they would answer questions. It was, a lot of it was outdated, because when she had earned money, this is all like over a decade ago, before social media was what it is now. And a lot of this advice, it's just the same recycled crap that you hear from everyone. Of course, at the time, we think like, wow, this is amazing. This person had made all this money. I do remember a consistent training at Rankmakers Live video that she would do. It was a special brand of shame, where you'd be in the audience and she'd be like, how many people, you'd either stand up or raise your hand. How many people have prospected 20 people a day for 6 months? Or whatever, and how many people have prospected every day, whatever. It would go like diminishing until you're left with, well, how many people have prospected consistently 20 people a day for 6 months? And there's usually like one person left standing, or one person with their hand up. And then she'd be like, well, that's why you're failing in your business. That was always like supposed to be the mic drop. It's like, no, it's because you're in a fucking pyramid scheme. But that was like the only thing that I can see is that rank in Play to Win. That reality show, vicious and fucking cruel, horrible. She was equally as bad. I don't even know if there's a scale. It's just absolutely disgusting. And they still have it up like it's this showcasing their leadership or their coaching. Let's see. Jana says, I think it just took one badass chick to step up and open the door for others to have the courage to speak out. You know what I just noticed too? Recovering Hunbot was covering Rankmakers like 2 years ago. And I'm like, I never even came across this information. It's like, there's been other people that have been speaking out. And I'm like, when you're in one of these high control groups, it's like, you don't even know other people have spoken out before. I'm just finding a lot of this stuff out now, so I don't want to give the impression that there hasn't been other people, because I know there has. I know I'm new. I know there's so many things that I don't even know about, but I also know it's important to speak out if you can, And it's very scary when people start coming after you, because there's that implied threat. And especially with Play to Win, there's that he has collateral on people. And that has been told to me by Play to Win contestants. And that's not okay. So what collateral is, if you're familiar with fucking Keith Raniere and NXIVM, is what he had people do and had his slaves do, as they called it, is they had to give photos of themselves or confessions, whether real or made up, that could damage them or their family's reputation. And then that would be held against them in order to make sure they could behave in a certain way. And the contestants on Play to Win have, if you think, when you're on a reality show, there is a lot of footage being shot, and a lot of that doesn't go on air. And a lot of it, you don't have to watch much of this show to see that they're being pressured to share extremely traumatic experiences, childhood trauma. And then they're shamed. It's used against them to manipulate them. And a lot of these things he still has the footage. So people are afraid to speak out. And that's so you have like fucking 80 people, 2 seasons of that show. Some of those people still are so happy and grateful that they received that coaching and participated in that. I remember watching that first season and I thought, I wish I could be there. This is the most amazing coaching ever. And it's just abuse. And it's so sickening to me that I couldn't see it at the time. I mean, how could I have missed that? You know, I'm like looking at it now. I'm like, this is horrible. You don't have to be, anybody could see that and know it's horrible, but I was in it and I thought it was amazing. Like, it's really messed up. That's a really heavy topic. Amy Jo says that it makes sense. Monica says, I wanted to let you know that people outside of MLM do listen. And because all the things you guys do, I have learned to stay away from MLMs. So I thank you for speaking up. Yes, and you know what's so important too is the people outside of MLMs that leave comments and also that do content. That it's so powerful to see other people's perspective on the outside, because it's like, that's how we look. Like, I never thought of it that way. It's so important. Everybody's perspective and stories is important.
Where's the channel?
Monica says, I don't know. I have not encountered one here yet. More countryside, so I don't know about the city. I hope you don't encounter any. Jana says, I can only watch him in very tiny doses because he reminds me of my ex-husband who was physically abusive and had this switch. Now, I'm not saying he is PA, but he definitely has a switch. Yeah, there would be switches that would go off during the 14-day challenge. And I think I'd said this in another video. It was Roberta Blevins did that mini episode. I don't know if it's episode 134 or whatever. But she has a clip of him losing his shit on a 14-day challenge. And he did it during Rankmakers Live too. This was another story. I haven't told this one. It was Rankmakers Live 2019. And somebody from the audience like stands up and asks a question. Now, he'd also say, okay, I'm going to take 5 questions from the audience, and people would fucking run to the microphone. Like, they'd be fucking it's like fucking Hunger Games to be one of the chosen ones to have the honor to ask him a question. And you'd see people that would get up. They wouldn't even have any question to answer. They'd be like, thank you so much. I'm just so happy and grateful to be here. It was so pathetic. Oh, people just are so honored, right? But I know this one guy asked this question and I forget, I think he was like a veteran. And he's starting to kind of ask a question, but he's like inadvertently pitching his MLM. And I knew I'm like, Ray's going to lose his shit on this guy because he's not asking like a question. He's trying to do a pitch. That's what I remember. And he did. He gets the microphone and then he would have a switch. But at the time when we're in it, we're all like, oh, wow, he really cares about us so much. How fucked up is this? So you can see like the similarities between abusive relationships and then these high control groups and how they switch like that, right? So you're like, oh, you'd be like, you can't fucking blah, blah. Like you just like lose his shit right on Rankmakers Live. And he did this again during the 14-day challenge. And it would always be how it would be interpreted by me anyway, and by a lot of people would be like, wow, this is like that tough love coaching. Imagine being spoken to like that and you think that that's okay. A lot of people were put off and some people quit. And then, and it's been after I've been like connecting with some people, I'm like, good for you for getting out. Like they saw it for what it was and they got out. But when they left, we wouldn't know. Sometimes you'd be aware that somebody had left. A lot of times you wouldn't. And Ray would say, it's like, if you're going to leave, good, this place isn't for you. Like, but like, it's just real hardcore. So fucking intense. And Japan have been great. I've never been to Japan. It's so cool that you're in Japan. Monica says, I have only seen Ray like in the anti-MLM videos. I can't imagine you guys that had to talk to in person. And this is the other part too, though, like, is that he could be really funny and charming and like really great. Like I was looking at these videos of other 14-day challenges and I'm like, okay, he's not the same person now. Maybe he always was like, I don't know. But it was like, there was a lot where it was like funny and jovial. And you really like, because we wouldn't have stayed had it been like horrible all the time. It was like, I guess it's a lot like, these multi-level marketing uplines. Like you see this horrible behavior where they're talking down to people so bad. But there's like the good. There's always the bad in there, but there is the good as well. And that's why we stay, part of why we stay, And we didn't, and it's so weird now because at the time I thought it was great. I had no problem. I'm like, this is amazing. Oh my goodness. But it's now getting out of it. I'm like, I can't see it because I see it for what it is. I guess that's what it is. That's what it is. Andre says he looks and behaves like an abuser. I don't want to know how he is behind closed doors. Just my opinion. I know that's what I think too. It's like, if you can behave like that in public and think it's okay, it's like, holy fucking shit, Monica says he's a person to avoid for sure. Jana says, same Andre, he has that look, like that look in his eyes, a switch. And you know what I don't understand is that, like, say you were, I'm thinking of myself.
What I'm getting at is
if someone was like, if somebody that was paying for my coaching or multiple people were terrified of me and saying I was abusive, I would want to know what the fuck is going on and make it right. But he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. And that's terrifying to me. And now it's like aligning this with Jesus. It's just like, I don't even know how to process that. I just know that that's like warning. That's a red flag. In fact, Jim Carrey on that one show when there's like, he's driving. It's like at the beginning, I can't remember which Jim Carrey movie it is. And there's like this truck and he's like, I'm waiting. Give me a sign. And there's like a truck and it has like turn around, go back, detour ahead. And he's just like ignoring all signs. It's like, that's the sign, Run the world. I'm very concerned how he's oversharing his son's supposed experiences in order to frame this new persona. The use of the children, it's like, it's just so bad. It's all playing out on social media, using your own family, like I'm concerned too. Jolene says both Ray and Jessica's treatment of people on Play to Win was so horribly abusive. They were basically stripped down and not even treated as human. They ooze of contempt and entitlement. Exactly. And that's why it's really hard to, you can see people can't even talk about it because it's so horrible. Like, because it's like you care about the people involved that are like, have been the recipients of this abuse, And I've got some stories. I got a couple stories I can share with you. Okay. Monica says, true. I saw that video. Jolene says, I couldn't get past the first episode. So messed up. This is the weird thing too, is that I was able to watch the first season. I loved it. I tried to be on the show. I even sent it in an audition tape, if you can believe it. Thank God I didn't get on that fucking thing. Oh my God. Oh, but the second one I didn't watch because and I wish I didn't watch it for the right reasons, but the reasons why I'm like, this is a fucking joke. The whole point of being in network marketing is supposed to be that you don't have to work at a traditional job, but the reward for being on Play to Win and winning would be to win a job with the Higdon Group. And I thought that's just such a stupid contradiction. I was aware of that contradiction. And that's why I didn't watch. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. I wish it could have been like, this is so abusive, but at least a contradiction got through at some point. And that was just like another little contradiction, another contradiction. This is how much it takes for somebody to wake up and get out sometimes. That's how much it took me to get out. I was like 42 when I got into this. I'm like 47 now. How could I have not seen this? How could I have listened to a man and a woman talk to people this way and think that that was okay coaching? And so you see these other people that pay for his coaching and they are coaching their downlines like this. I know this is super heavy. Trying to like, this anytime it goes off into this Play to Win realm, it's like intense. Jana says, yeah, watching in on Aaron's live, it was so hard to watch. I felt so bad for the contestants. And, shout out to Aaron B's, Julie Joe, Kirsty Flickinger for being able to tackle this and like keep the focus on the behavior of Ray and Jessica and off the contestants' behavior. Cause they're like, it's such a difficult topic. North Florida Youth and Masters Wrestling says it's just another target market to sell to. What is taught in marketing? Find your target audience. What does your avatar look like? Now let's find all the trigger points you need to know to exploit them. Bingo. Charlene is like, oh my God, that mini episode on Life After MLM. Andre says, yes, he has that switch. Jana says, just like being with an abuser, especially physically abusive, is they are so great or else they wouldn't stay. Yes. Liar, liar. It was the Jim Carrey movie. I think it is. Signs everywhere. The signs everywhere. Signs. Monica says, I wanted to say I love your snowcat. Thank you. Avery Joe says, I have to hop out and go to a client meeting. It was nice chatting with y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Avery Joe, for being on here. I'm still going strong here. You can believe it. It's 2:24. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I've got the two things now. Unless we go off again, this could be the most epic. Jana says, don't turn around, Julie, but I think you are under a home invasion there and there's a stranger in your house. There's multiple strangers in my house. And they're just like going on about their day as if I'm not here. So there's, this is a little bit about the play to win that I have this connection with personally. So I had applied to be on this show and then I didn't get on this show, but I did have two contestants in the second season that reached out to me. And the one, so they were in a challenge of on Play to Win, and they had to raise money for Ray's preferred charity, which is called March of Dimes, which I'd be curious if March of Dimes know who they're fucking affiliated with, taking money from this guy and this company. And I was asked, they were doing this challenge that if they're going to be graded on it. And I loved everybody in Rankmakers. And I was like, absolutely, I'll help you out. What can I do? So I went live on TikTok. This is where I'm like really pissed off because I was used. And my followers were used. And then fucking Ray took the credit for this too. It's so gross. So even if you're like, how am I affiliated if I'm with this group Rankmakers, or how am I affiliated with, just purchasing a product from my friend in a multi-level marketing company? And this is an example of one of these things where it's like, you're part of it and you feel fucking gross, and I'm like, I was used. So many people were used. So they're given this challenge, these contestants that are vying for this position of being hired by the Higdon Group. And this challenge is like, they need to raise money for the March of Dimes, which Ray's going to get fucking credit for. He'll give them the big check and be like, look at how much money I gave you. He doesn't give a fuck how this money is being raised. I am one of the people that is contacted. I go live on TikTok. I'm like thinking, I'm going to help my friend. I would like to see them win. Why not? This is so cool. Even though I wasn't watching the show because I thought it was stupid, because the reward, the prize is a job with the Higdon Group. I saw that contradiction. Even so, you're still in the cult, right? So I'm like doing a live video. I'm like, my friend is on a reality show. This is to raise money for March of Dimes. And they're like, what is the link? And that's when I first thought, I'm like, well, how are they going to know how much money people raised? How are they going to track it? I don't have a special link. People are just going on to the March of Dimes website and giving money, which is fantastic. Give money to a charity. That's fine. But how are they going to fucking determine where's this money coming from? I was like, that's true. Because somebody had asked that. I'm like, I don't fucking know. How are they going to know? Is that they didn't know. How are they going to track it? So I don't know how many other people that were contacted, but I went live on TikTok, and it was during, it was February 2020. I got the fucking screenshot of the message sent. And I helped raise money for this fucking thing. And I never heard anything of it. I don't need credit. I don't need anything, but I was used. Everybody was used. So in who raised the most money, who won this thing, it doesn't matter. The whole point is that then this is like, I get the credit for giving all this money of March of Dimes. I'm like, no. Why this is even more important is because this is February 2020. I was being made fun of by fucking Ray and Inner Circle coaches for being on TikTok. And yet, at their fucking reality show in Florida, I'm being asked to go live on TikTok and raise fucking money for his charity. Another second contestant contacts me. Is also during the fucking show that is being filmed and asks me, somebody mentioned your name about TikTok. I would like to get some information. I think they were trying to feel me out. Maybe I could help them raise money too. But I thought, like, this is just, through conversations and healing, I'm looking through my old messages. I'm like, wait a second. These fuckers contacted me February 2020 during the reality show. I thought, that's kind of weird. Someone mentioned my name. Who mentioned my name? I guess we'll never know. December 2020, that was February. December 2020, they come out with that TikTok course where my content was I wasn't paid for. So I was like, there's that other one too. Andre says they are stealing your Monat shampoos. No, they can take it. Oh man. Jada says he got the tax write-off and the credit. Yeah. It's gross, and it's like he is a hypocrite. Yeah, it's really gross. Like, it's such a messed up thing, and it's just there's so many levels to this that's just so messed up. I think part of that other challenge is too, they were selling merch from their own store, like the Higdon Group store. That was the challenge. It's just to fucking make them money. Like, it's not grading anybody on shit. It's just how can we look good? How can we use people in order to look fantastic? And I feel so gross that I also did a TikTok live inadvertently being fucking used like that. You know, it's just, that almost pisses me off more than my TikTok training being fucking stolen. Okay, so that's it. So there's the fucking okay, I'm gonna show you some, this is what I like in the title of this are some Women's World Magazine articles. And this is what I was taught during the 14-day challenge from Ray about, we were all, if you took this, you have learned this training as the best way, one of the easiest ways to get compelling headline and title ideas for your Facebook Live videos and to get really good content ideas. And it was also like being really cheeky that this is going to be helpful for people that are within multi-level marketing. If your uplines or that aren't giving you good content creation strategies, this is really good. This does work. And then maybe if you're still here listening, maybe you're like, oh, I might be open to learning more about why my company might be a pyramid scheme and I'm in a commercial cult. And you're not alone. So this is one from August 30th, 2021, Women's World. So what we were taught in 14-day challenge is that the magazines that are at eye level, when you go through the grocery store checkout, are making, like, they're the best. They're being like, they're paying to have that spot. I don't know if that's true or not, but they have the best copywriters in the world because they need, in order to like have those sweet real estate locations at the checkout at eye level, the headlines have to be super compelling. They've got to be moving a lot of this product. So he'd say, just use the fucking headlines, use this. And then you can even use these headlines as content ideas as well. Jana says, that reminds me, I need to make a note to myself to go to the IRS website and make an anonymous and see if they know about Tony V. If she's not paying her taxes anymore. If she figured out the way. She's living in the Matrix or whatever. Holy fuck, these people. They live with their heads so far up their asses. Jolene says, off to drive a dog home. So glad I caught your live this time. Stay safe and keep warm. Goodbye, Jolene. Thank you for being on here. A real friend from all of this nightmare. So this would be a good idea. Best keto yet. This, if you're in Prove It and you're selling ketones, holy fuck, this would be a great title for your Facebook Live video. Come up with any kind of content. Just title it Best Keto Yet. It's written there. It's like the first thing that you see. That's the advice I would give to someone. Best Keto Yet. So this is the thing too, is that you don't need to purchase these magazines. You could just Google them, see like what are the most what Women's World magazines for this week or last month, just to get ideas. I got these, my mom's friend got them, so I thought, oh, this would be perfect to do like a video. Still have like the Hun inside me. So this, you don't want to be doing things like lose 19 pounds this week, but this would be a good idea. And he would even teach to just look at the way they phrase things, and you could use that as inspiration for your videos for whatever topic that you would want to talk about. You always use this example too of candle makers. I could make a video about anything. It could be about candle makers, just like candles and how to make candles. So you got to be flexible. It doesn't have to just be about keto. Then you get all jacked up. So another one, makes you sick proof. Like, please use that so then people can report it to the FTC. But I wouldn't recommend that. Bye bloat. That would be a good one. That's the alliteration, and it's eye-catching. And then, I mean, this is Dr. Oz's smoothie secret for a flat belly, but we were always encouraged to like shame people about their belly fat. Blast belly fat, always use the word belly. So that would be a really good one. It's so fucking toxic, this stuff, you know. Knee pain ender. That's another good one. Any of this stuff, this is what we were taught to do. I've got like live videos like this. Some of them, I did a lot of them. Some of them I did delete. This one I wouldn't recommend, but like this is pretty bad anyway. Like better than gastric bypass. The fucking shame they use, right? Oh, massive fat loss. That's a big one. Worry cure. That could be good, especially coming into the holiday season. Seasonal depression. They'd be like, this is the time. Just exploit that. Worry cure. People are worried. I am not shitting you. This is what I was taught. This is how I was taught to think. And it's weird, like you're not just like watching a video and you're doing it. Like I'm in this group, 5 years. I'm like taking notes. I'm just around all these other people. I'm thinking about it all the time. Everywhere I look, I'm like, how can I like exploit this? That's what I mean. It's like you're not just, on the outside taking in some information. It's like you're deep in this. This would be a good one. Feel 10 years younger. 5 tips for you to feel 10 years younger. This could be an example, and you could use this for any company, for Prove It, for Paparazzi, for Monat, for Arbonne, for whatever. 5 tips. Hi everyone. My name is Julie Anderson. Do you want to feel 10 years younger? I've got 5 tips for you. Here's the content. Boom, 5 tips. Hope you enjoyed those tips. I roll into the call to action. I've got 5 more tips for you. The third tip that I wrote right here is going to blow your mind. You hold it up, but they can't really see it because you're like being like this. That's supposed to be super engaging. And like enticing to people. Like this third tip is going to blow your mind. This tip alone is going to make you feel 10 years younger. Even if you don't look at any of the other tips that I gave you, or even the tips that I talked about in this video, this third tip is really going to help you. Just send me a message and ask for 5 tips. And then people would say, okay, 5 tips. And then you'd like create a little PDF or just copy and paste something, 5 tips. And then you'd ideally have some conversation with them. We're supposed to do this thing called a CTA delay. It's so freaking, it's so manipulative. Jana says that goes for the grocery store and shelving period. They pay extra for eye level shelving because like the Oreos are eye level, but the store brand are on the bottom shelf. Andre, the Hun inside me, the Hun is still alive in me. Monica says that sounds a little like plagiarism. It's a lot like plagiarism. It's probably all plagiarism. We were taught to plagiarize. They were like, just read the article and then just say what you learned in the article, and nobody's going to care because you're going to say, I got it in this magazine and it's from this person or this book. And it's like, that's plagiarism. It is. It's totally plagiarism. Jana says, I hope it's beef tips. Audrey is like, do you want to lose weight from your wallet? And I'm butting in again. Says, hello, all. Hello. Jana says, hello. Or, hey, I'm butting in. So that would be, so what I would do, then this is the other thing we were taught, is that if I would give you, say you're like so intrigued, I need to have this third tip on that list. Holy, this video was so informative. It's not only beef tips, it's something else. And so then you reach out, you send me a message, and I send you this message. Before I send you this message back, though, this is what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to do something called the CTA delay, which is just more manipulation and deception. Call to action delay. We're supposed to say, I'm sorry, Jana. I'm away from my computer right now, but when I get back, I'll send that off, those other 3 tips for you, those other 5 tips for you. By the way, have you ever struggled with having moisturized hair during the holidays? There's a fucking thing, like you start asking a question. We were told to purposely lie and not send you what the call to action was. And instead lie and say, I'm not at my computer right now. And he would even say, take a step back and just, if you have to, just make it like it is. If you can't handle like fucking lying, he wouldn't say that. It's like, if it really bothers you, then just physically step away from your computer. And then you can just say, well, I'm away from my computer. Like he taught us this. It's so deceptive. So anyway, this was a doozy. Holy smokes. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you were entertained, and gives you a bit of insight about a lot of things. Talked about a lot of stuff. So thank you so much for being on here. If you had have known me when I was in my Hunbot phase, you would have been horrified. I would have been on these videos. I would have been up on here. They'd be like, holy fuck, what are you talking about? You're plagiarizing every book you've read. I'm like, yes, I did. Butting it again said, step away from the computer. And it was said like it was a genius idea. So can you imagine these top income earners from various companies are paying this man $25,000 a year minimum for coaching? And that's the coaching advice. Just lie, plagiarize. Just say that you're not away from your computer. I mean, really, what's the big deal? Just make it so it's truthful. Oh, and Jada says, OMG, I had a blast. And I'm putting it in again, says, that's another story, LOL. Thank you so much for being on here. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you. This is 2 hours and 40 minutes of fun chatting. Had some coffee. Mine is cold. I'm going to have to microwave it again because that's what I do. And we'll have to do this again at some point. So I don't know if I'm going to be on live before Christmas. And I don't know if you celebrate Christmas or what you do. So I'll say Merry Christmas to you or Happy Holidays. I do celebrate Christmas. Not like fucking Ray does, whatever, burning pilgrims or whatever. I'll be watching Netflix. Maybe you'll be watching Netflix too. Butting in says, crazy money for sweet alcohol. It's true. It's exactly true. And Jada says, I love you all in a very culty way. Yeah. And Charlene says, got to get back to work. Have a great holiday for those who celebrate and stay fabulous, friends. And Butting in says, happy holidays. If not, I celebrate. And Jada says he's going to be burning witches at the stake. I know. You can just see where this is going, and I don't want people to be hurt. But I mean, what do you do? You gotta laugh. I gotta laugh. It's either I'm gonna laugh or I'm gonna cry. And Monica says happy holidays. So yeah, happy day. Happy days are here again. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. I appreciate all your comments and this good vibe. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. This is that awkward